While some companies are eliminating DEI mentions altogether, other companies are taking a different approach.
They're just not talking about it at all, or talking about it much less. Or the way they kind of recast diversity, instead of maybe focusing on gender or ethnicity-based diversity, they talk about diversity of experience and diversity of background.
Regardless of approach, the shift is stark from just a few years ago. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Pros, just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. Really nice day yesterday, temperature-wise, probably in the 60s. It was very sunny. And I walk around my yard sometimes. I get home from work. And I just take a look around the yard. You know, it's because I'm getting in spring cleanup mode, where I want to make sure the yard is looking good. I got to make sure that my lawn mower is in operating conditions. I'm real lucky because on the side of my house, I have both tulips and daffodils that I absolutely did not plant. But it's such a beautiful yet subtle reminder of the spring that has sprung. And so I'm walking around my yard. And those of you that know me know that I get really frustrated by trash. I really do. It angers me. But I also think it might be karma, because every piece of trash I may have ever thrown on the ground in my entire life, because probably as a youth, I probably didn't care. Kids are not often very conscientious, and don't worry, we're going to get to the kids on today's show. But I'm just thinking all the garbage I may have just disregarded or thrown out of a car window, because I have in my youth. All of the garbage I've ever thrown out of a door or of a window, a moving car, has ended up in my yard. So as I'm walking around my yard, and whenever I see trash, I pick it up. And I wish more people would do the same thing, because I think it encourages responsibility. If I know that I can just disregard trash anywhere, including in front of my own house, and then somebody else is going to pick it up, there is no incentive for me to keep my yard or my property clean. And if you rent, personally, that's not an excuse. I just find it disgusting. Like, I bought that house, and I want to make sure that it looks nice because it is a representation of me. But as I'm picking up things, it's the usual things, potato chip bags, candy bar wrappers. But then I saw something, and I didn't quite know what it was. So I have a little garbage picker, and then I also have these boxes of rubber gloves that I had to go way back to COVID. Remember back when everybody was wearing rubber gloves during COVID? That didn't last too long. But I had a pretty big stock of them, because sometimes you find some pretty disgusting things that can be carried by the wind in your yard, and I don't want to touch that stuff. So I got my little garbage picker, and I had my gloves on as well, and I saw something. I didn't know what it was. Now, as I'm picking stuff up, I am uttering profanity, because I'm just thinking of the person that just didn't care and just threw all this stuff out of a moving car window, or maybe they were walking on the sidewalk, and not even necessarily in my neighborhood, maybe somewhere else, and the wind blew all this refuse in my yard. And I have a fence, this wooden fence, that separates my house, my yard, from my neighbor behind me, whose house has been on fire twice. I don't know what they do in that house, but in the years that I have been living where I live, there have been 2 fires at that house. And so thankfully I have a fence between my house and their house to the rear. Now the fence is wooden, and it would burn if they want to have a third fire, but at least I have some barrier between my yard and theirs. And when you have a fence, garbage, when it blows, it stops at the fence. And so at the base of the fence, I have all of this stuff. As I'm moving around to the front of my yard, and I just see this incredible contrast of my budding tulips and daffodils. They'll probably be up in a week or 10 days or so. There's this wrapped up white something. I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like all of the other trash. Now remember, as I'm picking this stuff up, I'm using profanity because I'm upset that somebody would disregard a neighborhood, whether you own or whether you rent. It makes no sense to me. It was a maxi pad, and the scream I scrum, hell no. I mean, I had to pick it up, and I'm thinking to myself, you nasty heifer. Why would you? And it made me so incredibly irate. But also, we allow people to operate irresponsibly, and then someone or something, some kind soul, some good heart, some organization or nonprofit will just come in and just help them. There's this deep level of sympathy for, is it black people or poor people, to where we allow them to be irresponsible and not take care of their responsibilities at all because there'll be somebody there to help them. Are people really that helpless? Now, here's the other thing, and there's a bit of a catch. In today's society, and maybe this part isn't fair, you have to have income to be responsible. If you're going to be a responsible adult is the key word. In every aspect of adulthood and responsibility, you got to have money. You do. You don't necessarily need a lot, but you need some. You need more than a little. Driving a motor vehicle is a responsibility. And someone that has a driver's license has such a responsibility. You have to be responsible for your vehicle, obviously. its care, its maintenance, and its upkeep. You have to be responsible for its registration, which is getting more expensive by the year. And you have to be responsible in how you operate that motor vehicle because you are sharing that vehicle with other people on the road. But if you don't have money, you can't afford to change the oil or get a transmission service or a rear differential service or brake rotors or wheel bearings, then your car is just going to dilapidate. If you don't have money to maintain, let's say, your property, you went to Axe Housing, got yourself all signed up, went through the home buyer education class, and then you get your property and you move in, you will find that over time, now hopefully you have a house that doesn't need very much maintenance or the maintenance is something that you can handle, but you got to keep all this stuff in mind. You might need a water heater. You might need gutters. You might need a new roof. It takes money to upkeep and to be responsible with that property. I would say the same thing about children. We may have touched on it a little bit yesterday, but children are very expensive. They are. The cost of everything goes up. Even when you have to drive your children to different places, if the cost of gas goes up, then that's going to cost you more to drive them to and fro. And then there's the cost of food and the cost of clothes and all of the other associated costs. It is expensive. If you want your child to have the best education, dare I say, that's going to be expensive too, because it may not be in a local public school. It could be a private school that charges tuition. If you want your child to have additional activities, enrichment programs, or you allow them to maybe travel with the school. And all of this comes with the responsibility of having children and wanting to raise them in a responsible manner so that they become responsible adults. It takes a bunch of money. But if you don't have it, just like a vehicle that is not maintained, just like a home that you may own that is not maintained, if you don't have the money and the income to, in fact, maintain these things, then problems will arise. Now, I am not blaming the rash of, I'm going to call it violent, because there was a shooting at one of these takeovers yesterday at Moody Park. I'm not going to say that you need incredible amounts of money to exercise your responsibility, but if you don't have it, it makes everything a little bit more difficult. We have a question. You know, we do that every single day via our YouTube. These takeovers, and I have my sentiments about them, and I very well could be alone in my sentiments, but I think that they should be illegal because now violence occurs at these unsupervised, unsanctioned events that are taking place throughout our city because someone is being very irresponsible. Maybe it's the parents that know where they're taking their children to. Maybe it's the young people themselves. Maybe some of them are 18 years old and they are adults and they're acting super irresponsible because if you're an adult, then you should be out there supervising. But we know that the age of 18 does not always symbolize adulthood nor responsibility. But I think when you see these takeovers advertised, they need to be shut down immediately. And let me tell you why, because now it's a public safety issue. And this is nothing that we did. Those of us that think young people should be involved and be engaged and have things to do, we didn't do this, they did. But if they are allowed to gather and congregate at unsanctioned, unsupervised events where they are acting irresponsibly, and maybe the adults that are there are irresponsible, or the adults that are taking them or allowing them to go to these unsanctioned events. And if somebody gets hurt because of these unsanctioned events, then they should be made illegal because now someone very well may get killed. Let me remind each and every one of you that are listening, it is still March. It ain't June yet. It's not July yet or August yet when the weather gets hot and you expect more violent events because it's like clockwork in the city of Milwaukee. As the weather gets warm, there is more chaos and more mayhem. And here's the thing. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. We need a new 1994 crime bill for 2026. I cannot, in good faith, welcome the National Guard here to take care of the crime problem that we have. I shouldn't even call it a crime problem. People should be able to go out and about and do whatever they need to do and not have to worry about random people bringing guns to takeovers that are a bunch of children. But I can't sanction bringing the military into our city because of who the commander-in-chief of said armed forces are. So I want to propose a solution. First and foremost, takeovers, illegal. These are illegal gatherings. Or you want to have a takeover? Get a permit. So now we got somebody's name. We got somebody's signature. We got somebody that paid to hold these events. That's a little bit different now. But just to promote something on social media where there is not a single individual who is responsible for the behaviors and actions of these irresponsible and unsupervised teens, I think that that's a very, very bad idea. I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I want to talk about selective service. You know that all 18-year-old men in this country must register. A lot of folks don't realize that. If you do not register for the selective service, you can't get state financial aid, federal financial aid. You can't get certain jobs, and it's a crime. And there are some folks that think, some of these parents, right, that might look away or turn a blind eye to some of the irresponsible things that their kids are doing. Because also, if the parent takes responsibility for what their kid is doing, then that's going to make that parent culpable as well. A lot of parents don't want to be culpable for that. But I bet you, if they get a letter in the mail saying you are now being drafted, you're a young person, you're 18-year-old, you're a 19-year-old, you're a 20-year-old is now being drafted, I bet you those parents get up and get active then. I bet you they'll start to care about what's happening with their child. I say draft them. Now, we have a military conflict right now that we simply cannot get out of. And if I use history as any kind of a guide, the last military conflict that we got in over there in that part of the world, 20 years we were involved, okay, in that one. And there was more of a plan. There was a bunch of allies. There was a coalition in that military conflict. And this one, you see, it's just us, and we're going to need bodies. You want to act a fool? Serve your country. And listen, it'll give you a skill. It'll give you some discipline because some of what we are seeing is simply a lack of discipline. But the parents don't got no discipline either. Now, what we got to worry about is some of these folks that are out here causing this mayhem at these takeovers that I think should be made illegal. Some of them little girls going to get pregnant. What kind of parents you think they're going to be? Where you think their kids going to be at? Some of them little girls are probably pregnant right now. They just ain't showing yet. So we're going to talk about it today. Yeah, buddy, we're going to get into it. Make sure you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe, and you can vote on our YouTube poll. We got some things we're going to be discussing today. Our phone number, if you are so inclined, is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017 should these takeovers be made illegal. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's that time again for the Lowe Community Cleanup. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as we come together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. Be part of making a difference in our community. The Lowe Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th, 8 to noon. Sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, Waste Management, and presented by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, your clean water partner, serving Greater Milwaukee for 100 years.
As the White House threatens to take over state elections, restrict abortion nationwide, and take away our health care, the Wisconsin Supreme Court is the last line of defense for our rights. That's why the Supreme Court election on April 7th is so critical. The ACLU does not endorse or oppose candidates, but wants you to make an informed decision. When it comes to abortion rights, Maria Lazar supported overturning Roe v. Wade and is endorsed by groups that want to ban abortion. Chris Taylor voted against abortion bans and defended abortion rights while working with Planned Parenthood. And on the issue of voting rights in Wisconsin, Maria Lazar defended efforts to rig elections for one political party through extreme gerrymandering of congressional and legislative districts. Chris Taylor opposes rigging the system with extreme partisan gerrymandering. On April 7th, Stand Up for Our Rights. Paid for by American Civil Liberties Union, Incorporated.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Gunfire rings out near teen takeover at Moody Park in Milwaukee, and that's just the headline of the story that appears on WISN.com. And I don't know any details of if someone who was a part of the takeover brought the firearm, but I mentioned when we talked about the one that was at Bayshore yesterday, all it takes is one person to bring a gun, and then it has a whole nother, the takeovers take on a whole new meaning. They are dangers to public safety, and this is something that we have to take serious. I saw the Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, who is also a candidate for governor. He released a video statement. I didn't watch all of it, but I think he wanted to maybe give some clarification to, you know, young people. I'm not over here trying to explain things away. See, and I don't want to sound like an old funny duddy. You know, back in my day, we really didn't do this kind of stuff. And for you people that keep saying, like, oh, we were all young once. Yeah, but I wasn't with y'all that were doing this kind of stuff and justifying. This is not normal kid behavior. This is a kind of dysfunction to where if I close my eyes and I project into the future, these, whoever they are, some kids, some adults, when they age out of this era, they're not going to be productive. Like, what are they going to do? They're all on camera. Nobody's going to hire them. I'm not hiring you. But, sir, that was a long time ago. Yeah, you should have made better decisions a long time ago. You're not going to work at my company. I posted something in the Hughes Views Facebook group. I was like, why can't they do a takeover at a library? Do a readathon. That would be cool. I would support that. But I believe the whole point is to sow more chaos. They love the attention. I think that they're exhilarated when they hear gunshots. And I don't know when I came up with this mindset. I don't know if I had it as a young person or if I developed it in my old age. If I know that there's going to be an event that is going to be pure chaos, like there's no theme. Right? There's no music, there's no DJ, there's no food, there's no vendors. It's just a bunch of people, and maybe they were bored, but bored people, when they get together, will make something happen. But this is my sentiment, and I'm trying to think back. Have I always had common sense, or did I develop common sense as an adult? I'm not entirely sure. But if there was a get-together or a gathering, and I thought that there might be violence or there might be a bunch of random fights or even somebody that I'm looking for, somebody that I want to fight, if I think they're going to be there, I'm not going. If there's someone that could potentially bring a gun, because they all know who has guns. They all know how to get guns. And if I was of any age, and I'm thinking back to when I was a young person, if there was a place or a space where violence might be, where guns would be, where people are going to be shooting, I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to be around that. But I think these kids are attracted to that. And we as rational adults that don't want to be around random gunfire, because the older you get, the more people that you know that have been shot, we would opt not to go. I think this brings them together. I think that they want to get litty. I think that they want to be out there for that excitement. That is a dysfunction that most of us can't comprehend. Bob called in yesterday, and he was talking about the number 1 trillion. He's like, Sherwin, I can't even comprehend the number 1 trillion. Hell, I can't comprehend the number trillion either. I think they say if you count to 1 million, it'll take you 12 days. If you count to 1 billion, it'll take you 33 years. I don't know how long it'll take to count to 1 trillion. I think most of us that see what's going on, and we're very far from it. Most of us, if you have kids, your kids are not out there. And a lot of us are older folks where this kind of behavior is seen as disgusting and deplorable. We're so detached from it that even our ideas of solution are just ridiculous because people are saying stuff like, oh, build a skating rink. They'll shoot up the skating rink. Oh, they need a teen rec center. They'll shoot up the teen rec center and steal the cars. And also, let me be clear about this too, because great, let's build something. We got a bunch of empty space. We got empty warehouses and empty buildings. Okay, build something. Who's going to pay for it? You going to pay for it? No, you're not. You are not. What private business is going to invest in something where you're gathering the worst of the worst all under one roof? Who's going to work security for that? You would need armed security to supervise groups of children. Recipe for disaster. So even if we come up with all these ideas, and it's funny because the people that have the most ideas have the least amount of money to invest in them. Takeovers need to be made illegal because they're dangerous and they're threats to public safety. And we cannot willingly allow something that has proven itself to be a danger to public safety to persist. And here's what I'll say to the quote unquote good kids that are there. You're responsible too. I know you're a good kid and you just went to go and to hang out. But if you were there in the company of those, we can't tell the difference. You can go into a store with your friends. There's 3 of you. You walking around, back in the day, right? You walking around the mall, you can get something to eat. Maybe you had a video game arcade back in the mall. We used to have video game arcades around Northridge in the area till kids started cutting school and they had to get rid of the video game arcades. And it's 3 of you at the mall. And you're walking around. Let's say you go into a store. Let's say you go into Boston store, you go into Gimbel's. Remember Gimbel's a long time ago? Going to Yonkers. Remember Yonkers? I worked at Yonkers, actually. Worked in men's fashion. I would just fold sweaters all day. Somebody would come and look at a sweater. They'd unfold the sweater. Look at the sweater. Put the unfolded sweater back. Here goes Sherwin, got to fold the sweater. Then somebody else would come, oh, look at the sweater. And they do this thing where they hold the sweater up to their body. You guys remember that? You pick up a piece of clothing, you hold it up to your body. You don't try it on, you hold it up to your body. And then, oh, I don't like the way it looks on my body. And then you throw the sweater down. I folded sweaters all day for $4.25 an hour. So there's 3 kids, young people, walking around the mall. One of them decides to steal. The other 2, none the wiser, because they didn't talk about it. They didn't plan it. 3 kids, they're friends. They go to high school together. One of them, I don't know, stole a pocket watch. Do they even make pocket watches anymore? One of them steals. Well, they're on camera. And now all 3 of them are going to get arrested because you were there with someone that stole. You're a lookout. You're an accomplice. So to the quote-unquote good kids don't go to these. Good kids do good kid stuff. Good kids are actually at other parks playing basketball. Good kids are actually at home helping their parents or their grandparents. Or good kids are participating in sanctioned activities. So we got to stop saying, oh, well, there's good kids out there. No, they ain't. Because if you were out there and you were participating in it, if you're even adding to the crowd, making it more difficult for people, making it more difficult for shoppers if they're congregating at a mall, and making it much more difficult for law enforcement. Now, so back in my day, we had a healthy fear of the police. We did, because my developmental environment was more than just George Floyd. It was Ernest Lacy, who the police choked to death in the city of Milwaukee when I was probably 6 or 7 years old. And at that age, you think that, oh, that's a police officer, I'm supposed to trust him. I knew that police killed black people as a child in 1st grade, and there was a healthy fear of the police, especially in Milwaukee. So some of you may recall Chief Breyer, and I think that's kind of set in stone in some of our minds, those of us that are old enough to remember. Now, in the George Floyd days, the cops have gotten soft. They have. Now some of the cops, they don't even care the nonchalant attitude, the 37 warnings that they give. I'm going to tase you. I'm going to stop it. Stop running toward me. And the cop is running away from the suspect. The suspect's got a knife and a gun and a chainsaw. Please don't make me tase you. And the cop is not running for their life. One of the reasons why we didn't want to get in any kind of trouble to where law enforcement was involved, because as black kids, we thought that they would kill us. We weren't over here mouthing off to cops when they showed up talking about, I know my rights. Even if you knew your rights, they'd still kill you. Now, I'm not saying the police need to kill people, but there is no healthy fear of law enforcement. In fact, some of these kids would probably be more likely to challenge, yell, and scream and punch or swing at law enforcement than they would be to disappear from the situation when the cops show up. I'm going to take a break, come back, get to the article here. Oh, I was going to tell you guys about David Crowley. I feel bad for him because the last event that took place last night at Moody Park, and our parks are under the auspices of Milwaukee County. He is the county executive. He is also black. These things are happening in a place in which he, in fact, is the executive. And I know white folks real good. I know white folks better than they know themselves because white folks don't need to study themselves. I study them because I have to for my own survival, you see. And just using basic logic, you think that a white person from Toma would vote for a black county executive that can't keep his parks free from gunfire? Then that's just making it simple. Policies be damned. Now stop pretending that people actually vote for policies. They don't. They vote for people that they like. They vote for people that are attractive, and they vote for people that they think that they can relate to. Don't nobody study policy, because if I ask 9 out of 10 people how a bill becomes a law or the process to create an ordinance, most of them wouldn't know. So stop saying you vote on policy. It's just a cool thing to say because it makes you look smart. I've been working in politics for a quarter century. Most people don't give a damn about policy. They vote for the person that they like. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey fans, John Kuhn here, team captain of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and there's a reason it's considered the Midwest premier place to bet on all your favorite sports. The full bar, awesome dining, 2,000 square foot screen, and nearly 100 betting kiosks makes for an unbeatable playbook. Bet above the rest, only at Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Many of our most important memories are made at school. But for children like Victoria, the classroom can be a place of fear and isolation. She wore a bandage over her cleft every day, too shy to speak, too afraid to smile. Everything changed after one life-transforming surgery made possible by Smile Train. Today, Victoria's smile lights up her classroom, a symbol of confidence, connection, and new beginnings. Due to stigma, children with untreated clefts often miss out on school entirely. But thanks to Smile Train, students like Victoria are stepping into the classroom, raising their hands, and finding their voice. Smile Train partners with local experts to support with free cleft surgeries and other comprehensive care, empowering children to thrive in school and in life. Let's help every child walk into the classroom with confidence. Visit smiletrain.org/learn.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
If oil gets to $90 a barrel, I'll be able to pay off my house. I think war is awful. It's terrible. It doesn't resolve things. It creates long-lasting hatred and even more conflict that the American people are always going to find themselves involved in.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
But if I don't have a mortgage, you know what I mean? You take the good with the bad. Didn't Donald Trump say he was going to end the wars? You can't have America first if you're involved in all these foreign wars. And there's people that believed him when he said that. He doesn't like wars. He said it many times. Said it on the campaign trail.
Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
He's bombed just as much in his first year as any warmongering hawk president we've ever seen since World War II.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I shouldn't have said that I was going to pay my house off if oil got to $90 a barrel. I'm not even in oil futures anymore. I don't want to bet against the American people. That's not nice to do that, to take advantage of the increased cost of energy. I think that gas, for those of you that have to buy it, is the U.S. average is now above $4 a gallon for the first time since 2022, so that's not cool. I guess the good news is the weather is going to be warmer, so the reliance on natural gas for heat is going to go down, so maybe your We Energies bills will go down a little bit. So we're hoping for the best. I'm also hoping for the best this summer because we know this is going to be a bad one. And I say that every year. But a lot of times your precursors are, we get the sentiment, the public sentiment of like where our society is. There's a lot of discombobulation, a lot of anger. I mean, even the liberals with their No Kings protest. I saw this video. I have it saved. I don't want to go through the rigmarole of playing it. But I spent some time yesterday talking about black people have not been known to flock in large numbers to No Kings protests because we did our protests, and we protest has got to be a means to an end because we run a tremendous amount of risk. When there's African Americans at a protest, or we know that black people are angry about something we take to the streets, you have an overwhelming police presence. Where if you have some of these cities and some of these small towns where people are out there with their No Kings protests, the police presence is decidedly few. And it was like this 80-year-old white woman. And there's just one of these, random reporters, like nobody famous or anything. He's just walking around talking to people. And he's probably in his, I don't know, maybe early or mid-20s. And he remarks, I think they were somewhere in Washington State maybe. And he remarked, wow, there's not a lot of diversity here. And he wants to get this 80-year-old woman's take, because that's always interesting, because 80-year-old people, they've seen a lot. They saw the 1960s, and they saw a lot of social upheaval and social change in this country. And I think we want to put baby boomers, we want to pigeonhole them as to being just really horrible people. Well, not all of them. Some of them did fight for civil rights. Some of them did protest the Vietnam War. Some of them did burn their draft cards. Some of them did not vote for Richard Nixon. So there's some good eggs that are out there. And so this person that's interviewing this 80-year-old white woman says, well, there's not really a lot of diversity here. And she's like, there shouldn't be. She's like, black people don't need to be here. She literally echoed the sentiments that I said yesterday. She said, if black people come, they run the risk of arrest. She was like, I am here and these white people are here to walk in the stead of black folks that shouldn't be here because this is our thing. This is our fight. She was like, people that look like me did this. I was like, bingo, sister. And then I saw a whole bunch of reaction videos, and all the reaction videos were a bunch of black people, mostly black women, copying and echoing the sentiment of this woman. That's why we're not at the No Kings protest. And also, what are you protesting? Just general frustration? If that's the case, then black folks need to have No Kings protests every single day of the week. Here's what is really taking place for those that really can't see it yet. White people never thought that they would be in a situation where their needs were not being met and they were being taken advantage of by a tyrant. Because they always benefited. They benefited from opportunity. They benefited from home ownership. They benefited from jobs and promotion. No matter how bad the economy got, they still were okay. They still had assets that were untouched. Now there's so much uncertainty that they're like, uh-oh, we need to do something, which is great. I'm glad that they are. Fantastic. But what is your goal? Because all this could have been avoided. Now, I'm not saying Kamala wouldn't have been, that she would have been perfect. No. But she wouldn't be this. She'd have messed up some stuff. You know, it's a learning curve to being president now. In Congress, she would have had a Republican-controlled Congress, and they would have been mean to her. They would have filed articles of impeachment on her. They would have got real mad at her about her approach to the border and citizenship and all that other stuff. So she wouldn't have been perfect either, but she would not have been this. So what you want us to do? And plus, if we out there protesting for no kings and we got young black kids in the city of Milwaukee turning parks into shooting galleries, then y'all can keep your no kings marching to nowhere protest. We got stuff we need to take care of here in our own city. Let me also say this. Don't lump me in with them. All black folks ain't the same. And when I use the word community, I use it lightly, but I also use it differently. My community, Sherwin has his own community. Some of y'all are my community. You're my people. You're my tribe. You're my family. Some of my community is Asian. Even though when we did that poll last week and we asked what race the people were that were listening to the YouTube program, the Asians were only like 5%. I got to work a little harder, get more Asians. But my community consists of like-minded people that want to improve our society, that want people to be safe and healthy and make decent wages and be able to afford to go to the doctor if they get sick. People that think like that, that's my community. If you have that sentiment, you are welcome to join my community. My community is not just black people, because I don't want to have nothing to do with some of them. Let me be real honest when I say this. You can call me whatever you want to. I can defend myself. If I know that there's going to be a gathering of people, I don't care what race they are, but if they want to sow discord and cause trouble and break stuff, I got a job. You know what I mean? I can't be out there acting a fool. Those are not my people. And I can't say, oh, well, that's my community because they're black. No, I disagree with a lot of stuff that black people do. And I don't want to be lumped in with them. Now, the problem is we are, because we get judged, stereotyped, and generalized. That's why I take such great offense to this, because somebody sees me out in the store, out in the streets, I'm minding my own business. In this city, they may relegate me to some of the worst African-American behaviors they may see. Now, it's not fair, but it also engenders a sense of anger in me that we have other people that I'm not connected to, that some of you are not connected to, that are making all of us look bad. Now, the other thing I'm realizing is this. I can get on a soapbox and I can get all preachy and do all this other stuff and be like, you people need to get your kids. I know this much. People that are listening to this kind of communication, this kind of media, it's not your kids. Because the people and the parents that are allowing this or sanctioning this or even participating in this are not listening to me. And so it makes no sense for me to get all mad and angry and preachy and yell at some of you like, oh, you need to go out to Moody Park and get your kids. It's not your children. I know some of your children. Some of your children are smarter than me, but good, I want them to be. There was gunfire during a, quote, so-called teen takeover at a Milwaukee park on Monday. WISN 12 News photojournalist PJ Panyasopa grabbed his camera just as deputies raced to respond. Teens could be heard screaming and seen sprinting across Moody Park. WISN News has requests into Milwaukee police for information about the shooting, inquiring whether anyone was injured or arrested, but have not heard back. Well, the good news is the medical examiner was not called out. Medical examiner shows up, somebody didn't make it. Here's what I think. I think that somebody showed up, maybe a few people of the hundreds that were likely there, and say, yeah, let's set this off. And they brought a pistol. And they probably didn't shoot anybody, because it's easy to hit somebody in a crowd, because a lot of times these little young shooters, their aim is very terrible. They don't know how to aim so good. Because think about this. Where do they practice shooting? You can't really, if you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you're not going to a range because you can't. So where do you practice shooting? So they're not very good at lining up the sights. And so when you have a bunch of people, it's easy to shoot somebody. I think they just shot into the air just to add to the chaos. This is what we're dealing with, and it's not acceptable. We cannot have this in a Milwaukee County park where the black county executive is running for governor because it makes them look bad too. Quote, "It's just a shame," says Patrice Williams, who heard the gunfire from her front porch. You know what's going to happen? Some concealed carry person is going to shoot one of these kids. And you're not going to want that. We don't want that. But if someone has a firearm, their age all of a sudden doesn't matter, because if somebody who lives in the vicinity of one of these parks wants to walk around and be like, look, I'm going to make sure that no nonsense is going on, because if you live in the neighborhood, I feel real bad for people that live in the neighborhood, especially if you bought a house in the neighborhood, like your property value is going down because of this. And then one of these kids pulls out a gun, because they'll carjack you, they'll do all sorts, they'll rob you. Somebody's kid is going to get shot. And then how bad can we really feel? Because then it's going to be the same story from the mama. He was getting his life together. Not in time, he didn't. He didn't get it together until he was a day late and $1 short. And that's a terrible thing to say, but come on, we got to deal in reality now. This is a shame. It really is. It's embarrassing, to say the least. But let's use that word community a little bit differently now. These are not my people. They ain't my kids. Take a break, come back, continue our little pleasant chit-chat. But what I'm really trying to get at is there's a solution, because we clearly don't have one. And stop looking at the elected officials. They don't know either. They just as baffled as us. But Sherwin got a solution for you. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the truth with Solutions Sherwin. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The revolution starts in our mind, right? You know when Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution won't be televised? Like he didn't mean that you won't be able to watch it on TV. He means the revolution starts in your mind. You nincompoop. Y'all been running around saying that for 60 years. The revolution won't be televised, and didn't even know what the hell it meant. It starts with us.
Let him cook. Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It starts with a spark. At Milwaukee College Prep, they nurture that spark from age 3 through 8th grade, building scholars with knowledge, character, and confidence. 88% of their students face economic hardship, but that does not define them. At MCP, they see students' potential, and they help them live up to that potential. 4 campuses, 1 mission. College and beyond, MCP is free, high-performing, and open to all Milwaukee families. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to enroll or get involved. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Need a quick, delicious way to fuel your day? Try one of our new protein power plays from Cousin Subs. Power Ham, Power Turkey, Power Club, Power Tuna. 4 craveable 5-inch subs on freshly baked Italian bread. Packed with protein, up to 33 grams. All for just $7.99 for a limited time. It's the flavor you love with the fuel you need. Grab a protein power play in store, online, or on the Cousin Subs app today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th at Franklin Field, featuring live performances by Shaggy, Rick Ross, Genuine, Soulja Boy, Frankie J, Mims, and more. There will be craft margaritas, Milwaukee's best taco vendors, authentic lucha libre wrestling, an exotic car showcase, a Chihuahua beauty pageant, art installations, and so much more. Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th. Get your tickets at tacoandtequilafestival.com.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Got a text message. Got a couple of them, actually. This is from, I don't even know what their name is. Gnostic, but it's Gnostic. Gnostic? Is the G silent? I don't know what that is. Gnostic Devil says, Mr. Hughes, yesterday was my first day back from vacation. Okay, nobody asked you, but that's fine. 2 things about yesterday's show, they say. Black college graduates making 20% less would actually mean something if they, meaning this, whoever this person is, they're not black. Black college graduates making 20% less would actually mean something if they were not overrepresented in social services and underrepresented in STEM or engineering. 10-second Google search, college major by race with those hours of prep you do. Your listeners deserve better than hasty generalizations. Oh, I'm about to get in your ass. Second, review. So first of all, let me just clear it up. So when you do a Google search, Google is going to return you results based upon what you already searched for. So if you have looked for and searched for, and if your algorithm points you in the direction of negative statistics about black people, that is what you're going to get. So your Google search is not research. That's number one. Okay. What I remarked on yesterday was even when African Americans have the same degree, so a black engineer, a black person in STEM, a black person in some of the careers that you mentioned, are still being paid less. Now, there's some reasons for that, and some of that is actually on us. Because here's what I come to find out. When black people get a job, especially if they're first generation in the corporate world in particular, like corporate America is another planet. And if you don't have friends or family or members of your tribe or your community that speak the language of corporate America, you're going to go in functionally illiterate of like the hierarchies, the racial politics, the people that have great titles in some of these corporations. They have a lot of loyalty to the company, but when it comes to their productivity and their functionality, they are mid or lower. And then you might want to come into the company and be like a real hard worker and find inefficiencies because you want to show and prove that you deserve to be there. They're going to fire you because you're going to make loyal, mediocre people look lazy. Especially white folks really hate that. So if you don't know the language of corporate America because you've never been there before and no one has sat you down and taught you the vernacular and the politics of it, that's a problem. So we also have longer periods of unemployment. So when you divide income in black neighborhoods and black zip codes by the number and you include the people that are unemployed, that is going to reduce our overall income as well. White people have an unemployment rate that is half that of African Americans. But here's the other thing that we don't do that I've noticed. We're so happy to get the job and get the job offer. We don't know how to negotiate for our salary. They offer us a salary and we take it. Never take the first offer. If you've made it to the end and they want to hire you and now you're talking money, like you did all the stuff, you did the second interview, the third interview, the interview with the CEO and the company president, you did all that, and now they're making you an offer. They want to hire you. Very rarely are they going to say, oh, no, you're asking for too much money. Get out of here. No. They expect you to negotiate. Problem is we don't. They want to pay you. And this is you got to keep in mind from a business perspective. And also, if you don't have experience in entrepreneurship, you want to pay your workers as little as possible. Very few businesses, owners, entrepreneurs like, I'm going to pay my people $900 an hour. I'm not going to make any profit whatsoever, but all my workers are going to be well compensated. That's actually a bad thing, because here's what we have found. When you pay Americans more money, we work less. You pay somebody $8 an hour. They're going to work as much as they possibly can because they got to pay the light bill, they got to get gas for the car, they got to get food, they got to get groceries. They're going to take extra shifts, they're going to work overtime. You pay that same person $80 an hour, they're going to call in a lot because they don't need to work as much. Even if people like their jobs, don't nobody want to work 60 hours a week. But we don't negotiate for our salary. Hell, when I got hired here, I'll never forget the Zoom call. It was Kyle and Cherie that was on the Zoom call, and they was happy. They was like, oh, Sherwin, we got good news. I'm thinking to myself, we'll see. We're going to bring you on. I knew that. Here's what we're going to pay you. And they were happy to tell me that dollar amount. I was like, nope. They were shook. Like, I saw their faces on the Teams meeting. I wish I would have taken a screenshot. They're just like, oh. I was like, oh, no. Here's how we're going to do this. The dollar amount is going to be this. And I'm going to get compensated for my preparation time. I ain't just coming in here just at the start of the show at 9 o'clock and think I'm going to do a 3-hour show that I can be proud of. No, I need to prepare. And that's with labor. You're going to pay me for my labor. They're like, oh, well, we're going to have to see if we can get approval for, and I'm not, being disrespectful to them, but they just thought that I would just jump at it because most black folks do. And I was like, all right, go talk to whoever you got to talk to. I probably started 3 days later. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for Hour 2.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley? This is she. Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I got money now. Coming with straight truth.
Did you go along with this? Did you plot this out? Did you go into the store with the intentions of causing a negative situation? This is the part that people don't like once they get into court after they get caught. Now, should he be executed for killing somebody he didn't do? I don't think so. He's already serving life. He's going to die in prison. I think that's what's going to happen. At the same time, this is a message to the younger folks.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I come to find out that Milwaukee men in certain zip codes, I got to define it by zip code, it's not universal, have the lowest rate of registration for the Selective service. I had never even thought about that. I thought it was just something that you did. I remember when my notice came. It came either slightly just before or just after my 18th birthday. I was a senior in high school. I remember my parents saying, uh-oh, because they remember the Vietnam War. Now, we obviously weren't in any kind of a military conflict, and the draft has essentially been put on like cryotherapy. It's there, but it's frozen, and the likelihood of the draft getting initiated, I think, is low because the president would have to admit it's a war, and Congress would have to declare a war, and only Congress could reinvigorate and authorize the draft. Trump cannot do it on his own, and that's probably a good thing. Imagine if just a single person, just a president, just a executive can draft people. That would be a disaster because Trump would have did it already. So it would have to, and also I don't believe that, follow me here, assuming the Democrats get control of the House of Representatives, which looks more likely than the Senate, but the Senate looks like it might be coming into focus as well. I don't see a Democratic-controlled Congress authorizing the draft for a war that they, as Democrats, were not informed about or privy to. I just don't see it. But stranger things have happened in this country. But it's by law, and I'm going to give you the details, because some of y'all thought it was optional maybe. That your 18-year-old boy, women should have to register too. If everything is going to be equal, sorry ladies, there's stuff y'all can do too. Draft does not always mean combat. Draft means you might be helping with logistics. You might be, whatever your skill set is, they're going to put you there, because in a war effort, you need a whole bunch of different services to be provided. And if everything else is going to be fair, because women are in combat role. Women can be Army Rangers now. They can do all sorts of stuff. I think the first women were in combat. Maybe Obama authorized it. Oh, yeah, let them get shot at. If they want to join the military, you can shoot. Maybe it's George Bush. I don't know. But right now, women are exempt from having to register for the Selective service. I think that they should, because why not? Like, that's sexist, right? But it's sexist that benefits women. But if your 18-year-old has not registered for the Selective service, because I know that they got the card in the mail. I am 51 years old, and I can go to the Selective service website, and I can see the date in which they received my registration and my draft number. Now, I'm too old, too fat, too gray. But I think that they changed the age, though. Military enlistment age has been moved up to like 42. So if you thought you were safe because you were in your 40s, Once you cross the 50 piece, though, the 50-yard line, I call it, once you turn 50, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. Failing to register for Selective service required for men ages 18 to 25 in the U.S. can lead to severe long-term consequences, including loss of eligibility for federal/state student aid, federal job training, federal employment, and U.S. citizenship for immigrants. While rarely prosecuted, it is, in fact, a federal felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison and $250,000 fine. I'm wondering why black male unemployment is what it is, because in certain jobs, anybody can see your draft registration. In certain jobs, if you're like a federal contractor or jobs with the federal government, they can look to see if you register for the Selective service and not hire you. And I wonder if that contributes to lower African-American male employment. And then I come to find out certain zip codes in Milwaukee have some of the lowest registration for Selective service. And this is interesting because I think the military is a real good option for some of these young people that are perpetually bored because they're not going to college. They're not. They really aren't. Some of them are going to work. Some of them are going to keep whatever jobs they have or had in high school. Some of them are going to go work at Walmart with their grandmama and their mama. But some of them are going to be aimless and shiftless. And why not go into the military? Maybe we should draft them into the military because here's what they're going to get. They're going to learn a skill and they're going to get the discipline that they simply did not have growing up. And you cannot, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me when I say this. You can disagree all you want, but I just need you to listen to it. You cannot be a successful professional if you don't have discipline. It's impossible. You cannot be a fully functioning adult if you don't have discipline. You got to say no to some things that are very tempting and that are illegal that can get you in trouble. If you don't have discipline, and a lot of them don't, you are not going to be successful. So don't we have an obligation to provide pathways to that discipline? Because we want productive people in our society, especially if we're not letting immigrants in. Because some of those immigrants already have the discipline. They're ready to work. They're ready to be productive. They're ready to do things and make things. They're ready to help America be great, but they're not going to be able to get in because apparently the border is closed. So we got to deal with the raw material that we got right now here in the United States of America, and a lot of them need discipline. Discipline is a 16-year-old who might be bored to tears. They're sick of social media. They don't want to play the video game Days Gone anymore. They don't want to play the video games no more. They want to get out there and get litty at Moody Park, but then they say no because they know it's going to be some shooting going on. That is discipline. That they would rather be bored and sit at home, and being bored is torture, especially because all their dopamine reserves have been drained because of all the social media. It does a number on kids' mental health, by the way, just FYI. But that's discipline, and some people don't have it, and they'll never get it. Some people are in prison forever, booked for life because they don't have no discipline. Let's talk to someone who's got a tremendous amount of discipline. Hi, Bob. How are you today?
Being too nice now, just be regular. Don't be too nice. Now, the draft, when it comes to the draft, if we had the draft, there wouldn't be a war right now. Because rich people, sons or daughters or just sons could go into the war. If it was a draft, it would not be a war right now.
Explain it, Bob. Explain that to me. I need to better understand it. So if we did have the draft, you say there wouldn't be a war, and what do rich people have to do with that?
Oh, their sons and daughters would have to go to the service, or their sons.
No, they wouldn't. There's a whole bunch of exemptions. Poor and middle class. It's mostly middle class people that are in the military that would get drafted, and poor people. If you're not in college or you don't have some compelling reason or no major medical situation, it would be more. Rich people are such a small percentage, Bob. Like 80% of the men would be working class, high school diploma or less that would get drafted. And there's enough of them to support a military effort. There's probably 80 or 90 million men that are eligible for the draft, and that is 90 times the size of the current military. So there's plenty of warm bodies.
You think so?
Oh, no, Bob. Yeah. Oh, no. I know so.
Look, it's one question I just need to ask you, if you don't mind. I need to ask you this question. You have so much information that you give us. You do not know what's happening tomorrow. And I'm not talking about April Fool's Day. You do not know, and it's a big, big, big thing. You do not know, Sherwin, I don't think you know what's happening tomorrow. So you're mighty quiet, so I'm going to just tell you.
Bob, it probably is insignificant. It just means something.
No, it's not.
What's your damn birthday or something? What is it, Bob? Something that we don't, what is it?
I figured you didn't know. Look, my coach, when I was in college.
Stop. What's tomorrow? You know what? Bob, you know what? It was better when you used to play your saxophone. Maybe we need to go back to that.
No, oh, yeah, we can do that at 11 o'clock on Monday. Look, they're going around the earth. Ain't no way. They have to kill me, threaten to kill me to get in a spaceship. That's what they're doing tomorrow. That's big. They're going around the moon several times and coming home.
What's going on?
Bob, I don't care about that. I don't care about people going into space. We already been to the damn moon, man. We've been having people up in space for 60 years, man. I don't care about that. I'm more worried about the damn aliens that live right in the black community. I'm worried about them aliens. I don't care about nobody going to the damn moon, man. You need to go to the moon. Bob, you need to leave. You need to hang up.
I will talk to you later.
I'll send you to the moon. When we cross paths, and I hope that soon, I'm going to boot you right straight to the moon. That's a rap lyric. I took the profanity out of it. Let's talk to Andrew. Hi, Andrew. How are you doing today?
Not bad, and you are?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind, sir?
I want to speak to you about the military and drafting and all of that from parents.
Let's do it.
I was in the Vietnam War.
Thank you for your service.
I got drafted, and I had applied some jobs, and I had just graduated from college. And I applied for these jobs. They would tell me I had been arrested. So I got a job at Lockheed Aircraft Corporation in Marietta, Georgia. And they called me down after I had been there 2 weeks and said, "Why did you lie on your application?" I said I hadn't been arrested. I'll tell anybody, if you've been arrested, they already know the answer to the question, so don't lie. So, and they'll use that when they get ready.
Oh, you said that you weren't arrested, but you actually had been.
Right. But when when they drafted me, and I'll never forget, I went to a window where there was an old white woman. She stamped my papers, moral waiver. That means you ain't been arrested. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say, though, is the most openings they have in the military is cannon fodder. You know what cannon fodder is?
Yep.
Foot soldiers. And like in the Ukraine and Russian war, how many people have been killed? And millions have been killed already, right?
Probably.
And they're cannon fodder. With all the technology we have now, a foot soldier ain't got a half a chance. So when you get drafted, they got a place for you, and the most openings are foot soldier. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
When they draft you, they got a place for you, and most openings are foot soldiers. That's where they have the most casualties. That's where they have the most openings. Something else a lot of people don't know. A lot of people during the Vietnam War were joining the Marines or the Navy or something to get out of the Vietnam War. People don't know the Navy and the Marines are the same thing. I was in the hospital in Okinawa, and there was a Navy guy who had gotten wounded. He had joined the Navy. They put him on the ground in Vietnam as a medic. Same thing. So when it comes to drafting, they play a lot of games too. Who goes to wherever they go? That's a clerk just like you. Whoever is a clerk in the military decides where people go. And that's about all, Doctor.
Thank you.
And like the earlier caller said, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know about the draft in the military and all of that. You have a good one.
All right, you too. Yeah, I don't want to know about that. I find this to be a bit ironic because there are some people that may think it's cool or fun, or they're otherwise disinterested in some of the activities that their kids do. Or they might even justify by saying, "Oh, I was young once too." Because if you got pregnant at 14 and you got a 14-year-old. Hell, you're 28. You remember what it was like when you were 14, and you might have gotten pregnant at 14 out there committing some chaos as well. So when you see your child do it, because a lot of times these parents that are real close to their kids' age, they're friends. They smoke weed with them and they drink with them. So they don't care necessarily that their kids are out there in the streets. And also a lot of times those parents, get out of here. I don't want you in here. I need a break. My man finna come over. Or my girlfriend, get out of here. I don't care where you go. And the kids are basically neglected and kicked out of the house, to go and hang out in the streets. And once the streets got them, you may never see him again. But I bet you if that child got drafted, that would be an involved and engaged parent. If they found out that their baby is going to serve as cannon fodder, as Andrew so eloquently said, I bet you they get involved in. See, now they don't care. They don't care. They'll drop their kid off at Mayfair. Southridge is ahead of y'all. Southridge, their 125 stores said, no, you got to be with an adult if you're under the age of 18. They starting that at 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. No, you ain't coming out this way. Somebody inquired in the Hughes Views Facebook group, which is the Facebook group that corresponds to this radio show. He was like, people still go to Southridge? Yep, and it's thriving. It's thriving out there. Look, the Grand Avenue Mall, where I'm at right now, that doesn't exist as a mall anymore. Northridge is gone. What's enough? Bayshore is a shell of its former self. They had to redo that whole thing to the California concept, but not Southridge. And he was like, people still go to Southridge? He was shocked that Southridge was even still open. I was like, yeah, people go to Southridge, but not our people. That's one mall. They don't play that out there. You go ahead and go out to Greendale and Greenfield if you want to. Bet you'll never be back. I think that would get parents involved and engaged if we instituted this draft, and who knows, with this president and with this military campaign. I think it would be good for them. Maybe the military needs to be a viable option. I'll bring it up every now and again because we seem to be at our wits' end. We don't know what to do. We got to have more programs, but who's going to pay for them? We need to have more recreation for the kids, but again, who's going to pay for them? Who's going to invest in that? The kids need this and the kids need that. No, they don't, because they'll just ruin it. Do you think that the behavior that we're seeing right now, including the shooting, is going to go away because they have a place to go? No! This is not if you build it, they will come. They'll come and shoot. They're not going to say, wow, we have a teen rec center that they built for us. I'm going to leave my firearm at home and I'm going to go do teen rec things. No, they're not. They're going to get litty. That's what they're going to do. They'll do a takeover of their own teen rec center. So maybe the military is a viable option. Y'all are quick to throw them into the trades. They're much more likely to be successful and get a trade in the military than they are by going to MATC. I'm going to talk about some of the poor statistics of registering for the Selective Service. Mothers that are raising sons or moms and dads that have raised sons, were you involved in your son's registration for the Selective Service? Because these zip codes in Milwaukee, and you can guess which ones, have the lowest registration rates for Selective Service, and it's a felony. So it's like a lot of parents may not know this, and maybe this would be the public service announcement. If you have an 18-year-old or someone who is soon to be 18 and they get the letter in the mail that they have to register for the Selective Service, if they don't, it's a felony, and they are discounted from getting student aid in the state of Wisconsin, federal student aid, and there's a whole bunch of jobs and career paths that they are disqualified for because they did not register for the Selective Service. So let's talk about that on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's that time again for the Tory Lowe Community Cleanup. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as we come together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. Be part of making a difference in our community. The Tory Lowe Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th, 8 to noon. Sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, Waste Management, and presented by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, your clean water partner serving greater Milwaukee for 100 years.
Redlining happened here, some neighborhoods are still left behind. When decisions are made about our blocks, our homes, and our families, we deserve to be heard. The Milwaukee County Office of Equity and Empower invites you to help us tell the story of wealth by taking a short survey online. What do you need to build wealth for your family, business, or neighborhood? Take the survey and be entered in to win concert tickets, cash prizes, and more. Take the survey now through the end of March at mkestoryofwealth.com. That's mkestoryofwealth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Selective service registration often happens through driver's licenses, which a lot of them don't have, college enrollments, which a lot of them are not involved in, and job programs in which we know they are not participating in. Poverty is geographically concentrated. A few zip codes carry extreme poverty burdens. These same zip codes in Milwaukee show lower education, lower workforce participation, and less interaction with federal systems. These are the people that are much more likely to get drafted if they were to institute a draft. And I think it's a very good thing. Why do we not suggest the military? If you have an undisciplined child, you've been trying to tell this child of yours to do right and to straighten up, and they won't. They don't listen to you. They talk back to you. They don't go to school. They got a whole bunch of discipline problems. They've been in trouble with the law a few times. Maybe nothing major, no felonies, but you know the felony is coming. They're starting to have a little bit of a rap sheet. Why don't we suggest they go into the military? It's interesting because we'll be against that, but we'll turn a blind eye to all the trouble that a young person gets into. The people that I grew up with that opted, because I come from a time where military recruiters were at our high schools. Right during lunch, they was out there at that table with pamphlets and brochures, and it would be someone that we went to school with. So when I was a freshman, those juniors and those seniors, okay, so by the time I got to be a junior or a senior, they enlisted and they would come back to Brown Deer High School. Stone-faced, pressed uniform, standing at attention, and we would want to joke with them because we remember them from high school. Like, I remember these cats from when I was a freshman. They go away into the service and they come back as a Marine. You ain't playing with them no more. And then they would share their experiences of all the things they saw, all the things they've done, the demanding physical nature of basic training. It makes a man out of you. And don't we want more men, more strong men with steel in their spine? Why don't we recommend the military? Because there's nothing else like it. Now, also keep this in mind, though. The benefits are incredible. And the people that I have known my entire life that had a career in the military, all of them are long retired now, and they're living real nice. You want to go back to school? You can. It's paid for. You got your VA benefits. You can go to the doctor when you get sick. You can get low interest or no interest loans. They basically lay out a red carpet for you if you've been honorably discharged from the military. But all of the people, the men, I don't know very many women. There's one woman that I went to school with, but she got hurt in the war. So her experience, she went to Afghanistan. She got messed up over there. So, but she's got a fat disability check that comes every single month. But I think she would rather have not experienced what she experienced to get disabled than to get the fat check that she gets. But everybody says it was the best experience of their entire life. And what do we have to offer some of these young people? They're not going to get into college, y'all. You see these proficiency results from MPS. Come on now. College ain't for them, even the trades, because guess what? We keep telling these people to get into the trades. The trades is college. And if you can't do basic arithmetic and you have no reading comprehension, what the hell are you going to do with a blueprint? Hell, I look at a blueprint, and I went to college. I don't know what none of that is. You show me a draft plan, I don't have me building a building. Building would have a round door, perpendicular windows, a triangle roof. The chimney would be on the ground. Why are we suggesting the military to give young people discipline? Because there are some parents that were unable to discipline their children. And I'm not talking about whooping them or spanking them either, and that don't even work. The kids that say that is it corporal punishment? Is that what they call it? When you can punch a kid in the face? They used to could do it in schools. The reason why people say, oh, well, we had, physical discipline in school and my parents physically disciplined me. The reason why people say, oh, and I turned out okay, it's because you already had a healthy fear and or respect for your parents anyway. But with this newest generation, because things change and evolve, and you cannot treat or talk to or discipline children today like you did some time ago. These kids are beating their parents up. Do you guys know that? A lot of times parents that are getting punched in the face by their kids, they don't tell you that. So some of these parents are like, oh, well, I got whooped as a child. I'm going to do that to my child. By the time these kids get 12 or 13, they're punching their parents in the absolute face and in the mouth, and then the parents stop hitting them. Some of y'all have that as a solution because it worked 60 years ago. See, my mother or father went and got a switch and they beat me. These kids will shoot their parents. That don't work no more. We got to stop looking. That's why we're not getting anywhere. We think that things have not evolved. Like, oh, this is how it worked a long time ago. Yeah, also, y'all were happy to go roller skating twice a year. Let's talk to the caller. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Well, top of the morning, Professor Hughes.
Morning. What's on your mind?
Well, discipline is what we're speaking of, and what I want to make really clear is that for anybody who's tuning in to this show and 101.7 The Truth for the first time, the vast majority of children don't fit in the category of what we're even talking about. In the black community or whatever zip codes you want to talk about, most of them don't beat their parents up, and most of them were not the problem that we saw at Bayshore on the weekend. Just like when we were growing up, most of us weren't doing drive-by. So I want to make it real clear that you're talking about a specific group of bad apples, and a solution for people like that, and I think for all the children, would be if military basic training were required to graduate from high school. Now, what this means is that you would be sent to a place like a challenge academy where that my son wind up going to when he misbehaved, and he got the exact discipline that you get because you actually have to go through basic training and do that same PT that you do, that 3-mile run every day at 4:30 in the morning, without jeopardizing yourself to joining a fascist army. which is what we have right now, and being sent to Iran where you're going to die. Because that's what they're looking at right now. Even that small segment of our totality of our children who are behaving like what you're describing. So I think if every kid was, in order to graduate from high school, and probably starting in ninth grade, had to take some ROTC training where you're gone for at least 8 weeks, like you would be for basic training, that would give them what you're speaking of without jeopardizing their lives, because there are a lot of people who also aren't fit for the military, which endangers the people who go into the military to protect us.
No, we can find some. Military is not just going out in combat. There's something everybody can do. It might be unloading a supply truck.
As a honorably discharged veteran, let me let you know. I don't care what your MOS is, which is your career choice. You are going into the military to be taught to be a killer. And whether you're a secretary or whatever you are, if you're in a war zone, you have an M16, and whether you're in the Air Force, Navy, whatever, when it comes time that area has been breached, your basic training makes you a soldier no matter if you're a pencil pusher or whatever you are once you get out of the Army. So let's make that really clear from a person with experience.
All right.
That when you go, you're not joining the Army to be a secretary, and that's all you're going to be. You're joining the Army, and when you get the basic training, they'll let you know that they don't care what your MOS is. You're here to be a part of the greatest fighting force that the earth has seen, so they say. And I think right now, this illegal war, we'll find out that, we ain't the only people that's tough, Professor Hughes. So I think that maybe creating more programs like the one that I'm talking about and making it a requirement to graduate, just like making Black history the true history of this country, those two things will move the needle quite a bit, bro.
All right. Thank you for your
God
call.
bless, man.
Appreciate you calling us, the caller. He said, no matter what, you're going to be a trained killer. A 3-mile run every morning at 4:30? No, thank you. At 4:30? That's too much. That's early. It's dark still.
You didn't play sports growing up?
I ain't running. What the hell sport in the modern era? You got to get up at 4:30 and run 3. I got school at 7.
Football, basketball?
No, there was no 3-mile running. Not where I went to high school. Our football practices were after school. Yeah, we didn't.
Were you guys good?
Conference champs in 91. Good enough. Went to sectionals. Regionals. Lost to Sheboygan Falls. Good enough. But no, I think we might have had no. So you had to run before school?
Oh, I'm talking more college, I guess.
Yeah, no. Yeah, high school, you don't do that to kids.
Oh, I did that myself. Yes, I did.
Okay. Well,
that's how I got a full scholarship,
And now you're sitting here with me. No, this is the pinnacle of a career. I'm making you famous. All right, let's take a break. Come back. I have the data. One of Milwaukee's zip codes. Guess which one? No, don't guess, because all you're going to do is Google it. One of them only has a 62% selective service registration rate. That you guys got to register your sons for the selective service. And then since you're registering your sons and you're telling them that they need to register by law, maybe a conversation about going into the military. Like the caller just said. Maybe there can be some improvement in their lives if they're getting up at 4:30 in the morning time and running 3 miles. What if it's cold? What if it's below zero? That's not fun, but that's good discipline, though. Discipline will take you as far, if not further, than certain types of education or whatever skills you may learn. Being disciplined, staying focused, staying on track, avoiding distractions, making good decisions, even when those decisions are tough, is probably the best career advice I can offer to most folks, because a lot of folks that don't have discipline, they don't get far career-wise, they'll just say oh, the world is racist. Not necessarily. You just don't have any discipline and you suck. Some people, we got to tell some people that they suck. They're late every single day. They get to work. They act like they don't want to be there. And then when they get fired, oh, this place was racist. Maybe You made them more racist because you're black and you suck. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Walk in for a suit, walk out with two. It's buy one, get one half off throughout March at Nick Avani's. Suits, blazers, hats, jeans, and more. Everything you need from a hands-on team that styles you from head to toe. Find a suit, add shoes for half the price. Land a perfect two-piece set? Now add a vest for 50% less. Prom, weddings, galas, whatever's on your calendar, now's the time to stop in to Nick Avani's. Second floor at Mayfair Mall across from AMC. Buy one, get one half off throughout March at Nick Avani's. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Want to protect our planet? The air we breathe, water we drink, and land we share? Real progress begins with birds. Yes, birds. The very ones we see and hear every day. On a walk, in the park, or simply out the window. That's because birds are more than birds. They're symbols, sentinels that reveal the health of our planet and our people. And by helping them thrive, all of us thrive as well. Audubon is a place where birds matter, where habitats are protected, where communities are engaged, and where change takes flight. Because at Audubon, hope begins with birds. Progress begins with birds. It all begins with birds. Audubon.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
JD, is my mic on? Yeah, it's on. Sometimes I get confused. JD wants to know, if the young man is a felon, does he still have to register for selective service? Could that explain the 60% in that zip code? Nope. The only way you're exempt is if you are currently behind bars when you turn 18 or in that window of when they send you your registration documents. But no, it doesn't matter what your conviction status is. If you are an 18-year-old man in the United States, it doesn't even matter sometimes what your citizenship status is. You can be a non-citizen and be here on some kind of an approved visa. You still have to register. So no, being a felon does not exempt you. Oh, they'll take felons. Oh, yes, they will. If we need warm bodies for cannon fodder in a war, but wouldn't this just be one of the best teachable moments that elections have consequences? Some of y'all thought Trump was sweet, thought it was the right thing to do, thought he was going to be the businessman, or you hated Kamala. You hated the fact that she was a Democrat, or you hated the fact she had a white husband, whatever reasons y'all told yourself as to why you weren't going to vote for her. And now Trump is going to send you over in the Middle East where you might not come back. Are you going to come back? Real different. Yeah, there are no criminal conviction exemptions for registering for the Selective Service, but I'm concerned about how high the number is of unregistered individuals in some of our zip codes because it excludes them from a lot of opportunity, and some may not even know it. 53210, 80% are registered. Now, this is all races, but some of these zip codes we know are majority black. 53210, 80% registered for the Selective Service. 53218, 31% poverty rate is 70%. 53206 with a 41% poverty rate is 65%. 53205 with a poverty rate of 45%. Average income is $31,000 per capita, has a 65% registration rate, and the Milwaukee zip code that has a higher level of poverty than 53206. 53206 is not even the poorest zip code in Milwaukee. It may still be the most incarcerated. Actually, you know what? I would want to check that too. 53233 has a 62% poverty rate and a 60% registration rate for the Selective Service. So 40% of the men that live in 53233 are essentially committing a felony that they may not know that they are committing. Now, they haven't been charged for it, but you don't want to, even if it's unwittingly, set yourself up for a felony because you never registered for the Selective Service. I bet it's a lot of parents that probably don't even know that it's a requirement. Some people may not read the fine print. And I'm trying to, what I received, if I remember correctly, because I freaked out because when you had to sign something and you got to mail it back, I thought that meant I was going into a war because Bill Clinton had just gotten elected when I turned 18. I'm like, hold on, Bill, don't. And Bill bombed some stuff. He didn't. We didn't have a major. In fact, I think that was one of the largest, what we call peacetime eras in American history. Don't worry, it was ruined by the very next president that came in. But I was worried that I was going to get drafted. In 53206, only 7.4% have college degrees and a workforce participation of 53%. My God. Maybe all of these things are interconnected, ladies and gentlemen. If we have a zip code where 47% of the people in the zip code are not participating in the workforce, like how do you live? I'm genuinely curious. If everybody can't sell dope, can they? No, I mean, 53204, 31% poverty rate, but an 85% registration for the Selective Service. 53208, 27.7% poverty rate, 85% registration for the Selective Service. 53212, which includes Milwaukee's East Side and the River West, has an 88% registration for the Selective Service. So does 53209 with a 26% poverty rate. 53209 encompasses parts of the 1st Milwaukee Aldermanic District and also bits and pieces of Glendale. 53207, Bayview, Southside zip code, 92% registration for the Selective Service. 53215, working class, Southside, mostly Hispanic neighborhood, a 90% registration for the Selective Service. 53220 and 53221, Southwestern residential neighborhood in Milwaukee, 92% registration. Here we go. They call these Tier 4 zip codes. 53217. That's, think of your your Baysides and your River Hillses and your Fox Pointses, your North Shore area. Median income, $120,000 a year. 98% are registered for the Selective Service. 53213, Wauwatosa, $90+ thousand annual income, 97% registered for the Selective Service. And 53226, $85,000 average annual incomes and a 97% registration for the Selective Service. So it seems like there is a connection and a correlation with not just zip code, but median income and registration for the Selective Service, because I would imagine people who come from upper income families want their sons to be registered for the Selective Service because of the additional opportunities that they would be exempted from if they did not register. But also, they're likely the ones that wouldn't be drafted if we had a military campaign that required it anyway. Why these zip codes have the highest registration for the Selective Service? College enrollment pipelines, driver's license, auto registration. I didn't know that there was a connection. So can you not get a driver's license if you're not registered for the Selective Service? And then it says high institutional engagement, which makes sense. They're involved in community. They're involved in church. They're involved in other institutions and structures, colleges and universities, after-school programs, those kind of positive, engaging activities, which leads them to higher registrations for the draft, even though they are less likely to be drafted if there was a military campaign. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
I won tickets last week on your show to see The Wiz. I just wanted to call and say thank you and say I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I appreciate the station. That was a core memory that was made last night. The Wiz was an amazing performance.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Hey fans, John Kuhn here, team captain of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and there's a reason it's considered the Midwest premier place to bet on all your favorite sports. The full bar, awesome dining, 2,000 square foot screen, and nearly 100 betting kiosks makes for an unbeatable playbook. Bet above the rest, only at Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
At Adversity on King, we believe taking care of our community starts right here, together. Every day, neighbors step up to donate blood, helping save lives in Milwaukee and beyond. But Adversity on King is more than a donor center. It's a place for health education, community connection, and support, especially for families facing conditions like sickle cell disease. When you donate blood, you're not just giving. You're showing up for your community. Visit versity.org/VersityOnKing to learn more or schedule your donation today. Versity on King, rooted in community, powered by hope.
Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th at Franklin Field, featuring live performances by Shaggy, Rick Ross, Genuine, Soulja Boy, Frankie J, Mims, and more. There will be craft margaritas, Milwaukee's best taco vendors, authentic lucha libre wrestling, an exotic car showcase, a Chihuahua beauty patch, art installations, and so much more. Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th. Get your tickets at tacoandtequilafestival.com.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I hope I didn't confuse 53233 with one of the South Side zip codes. Yeah, I'm fully aware that that is the zip code where Marquette University is, but don't let the high poverty numbers of that neighborhood, because that's an expensive university. You guys know how I feel about Marquette. Actually, I got to make a correction. One of my good friends that I grew up with, he went to law. He moved away to Texas, but he went to law school at Marquette. So I do know a smart person that went to Marquette, but I didn't know that he went to Marquette, but he's the only smart person I ever met that went to Marquette. But Jesuit universities are always located in the hood. They always are. Because that's where the missionaries want to do their work. They want to convert you poor black heathens to be Christians. I don't know what their success rate is. I wonder what the Jehovah's success rate is. Like 2%, 3%. Some people get their door knocked. They don't come to my house no more. I must be on the do not call list. Because they used to come to the house. They don't come no more. Well, there was a couple, a very nice Jehovah couple that came to my door. I think I scared them. Not intentionally, but I think they just got a little spooked.
You don't invite them inside?
No, I don't do that because I don't know you. You know, if I don't know you, you can't come in the crib. But they don't come back. But I wonder, like, what is their, like, 3-4%? Like, the people say, "Oh, snap! Hi, Jehovah's, come on in and have some tea. Let's talk about Jehovah." In the meantime, let's talk to Marlon. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you, Devil Dog?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. What's on your mind?
Good. So I was thinking about the selective service thing that you talked about. And I remember signing up in high school. I remember the guidance counselor would bring us to the office or in one of our classes. I can't distinctly remember, but we signed up through there. So I'm wondering if those numbers are pushed by the lack of numbers in high school. You know what I mean? Because I know that's where I signed up. And then after I signed it, then the card came to my house. They said, "Hey, you had signed up for selective service." But I can't remember 100% how I did it, but I'm almost positive I did it at school.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I know that they sent the card came directly to my house. My parents were like, "Uh-oh, you got to fill this out and send it back," and I did. So maybe it was something optional you could do with your school, but yeah, they sent it to my house. So who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you for your call. Well, he ended up going into the Marines anyway, so they're going to sign you up there if you're not already signed up. Let's talk to Al. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing good. First of all, River Hills, they wouldn't be no good in the selective service because a lot of their kids right now is on dope. There was a news article in Newsweek a couple of weeks ago about how their kids are strung out on cocaine and dope. So a junkie with a rifle wouldn't be no good. Number two, we got over 150 private islands that's for sale right now. How about while they're building these little detention centers here in the inner city, buy one of them private islands and put them out there away from society? And then they can learn some substance and some structure. We got money for all this other useless bullshit, honey iced tea, and maybe they can come out well-grounded. I wouldn't suggest nobody going in the military right now because...
Al, you breaking up on us.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said I would not suggest nobody going to the military because your kids will be dying for the white man. And if your kids going to die, it's going to be because they choose to, not because they fighting a war for a white man when he should have the people over there who are converted Europeans should have their white ass converted children in that goddamn war.
But they're going to die on the streets of Milwaukee just the same.
Well, let them die on the streets of Milwaukee before they die for a racist with foot spurs who never took his fat ass over there. All right? But there's things we can do, but nobody wants to invest in the kids because they want to invest all that goddamn money down in downtown. But they love using 53206 for a pity party to get their black ass in that position and stand up there and go, I don't know what I used to do. But I could have 53206, my mama got evicted with 7 kids, single mama. But then when somebody get hit, I don't know what to do. But let a white woman get hit by a goddamn Subaru. Woo, why? We're fast. I got to run like a superwoman. That's what I signed to make sure they're okay. Oh, because we can't have this going on. But here we come to the door. Say, oh, I don't know what I was born to do. But the Kings of Faith, 206, and then there was some welfare, and Daddy wasn't here, and we always was getting evicted. You was getting evicted because he wouldn't want to pay a goddamn rent. That's what you wanted to say. But that was for right thing. All right, but there's something they can do, but they got to figure that out. All right, you have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Some of that wasn't in English, so he was speaking in tongues. So that's... I disagree. If someone signs up for the military, you're not dying for Trump because Trump won't be president forever, but the military campaign will still be going on. You're not dying for him. You're dying because you're a patriot, because you want to defend freedom. And all this freedom ain't free. And all this oil that we need to power the United States economy ain't free. You got to fight for this. See, this is the thing. Americans are very detached from the sacrifices that need to be made every so often so we can maintain our imperialist lifestyle. See, during World War II, food was rationed. You couldn't go to the store. You had to grow what they called a victory garden. You had to grow your own food because all the food that we produced had to go over to the troops. Couldn't buy cars. All the steel and the aluminum needed to make tanks and P-51 Mustangs. We had to ration things. You had to support the war effort. Your taxes went up. You had to buy these things called war bonds. People actually invested in the military. Now, here's what's interesting. If you told Americans now that our taxes were going to go up in order to be involved in a military campaign, we would be decidedly more anti-war. During the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, taxes were actually cut. It's why we have the deficits that we have right now. We got to get back to where people need to actually physically sacrifice to maintain this lifestyle that we've all been accustomed. It just ain't going to be me because I'm too old. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for Hour 3.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is, where you're located, and one thing you've learned along the way. What the Business is powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth.
Coming with straight truth.
Did you go along with this? Did you plot this out? Did you go into the store with the intentions of causing a negative situation? This is the part that people don't like once they get into court after they get caught. Now, should he be executed for killing somebody he didn't do? I don't think so. He's already serving life. He's going to die in prison. I think that's what's going to happen. At the same time, this is a message to the younger folks.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care you can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Presley. My love for animals began when I was 5 years old. That sparked a lifelong commitment to speak up for animals who can't speak for themselves. Elvis and I supported American Humane Society because your compassion can change a life. American Humane Society strengthens the bond between humans and animals. Please visit AmericanHumane.org to learn more. Thank you.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour 3 of The Truth with me, Sherwin Hughes. Our phone number for those that want to call, or if you're a little shy, because calling a radio show is technically public speaking, and I know that's not for everybody. If you want to text, the number is the same. It's 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017, talking about a whole bunch of stuff. We started off talking about the takeover at Moody Park. As I'm looking up, why is Fox News on one of these TVs in here? Who does this? Why is... Well, never mind. Nah, I know. That's all right. But apparently these teen takeovers, this one in Los Angeles is awful. They're ramming a barricade through a plate glass window, and all these kids have their phones out and they're recording this. Says, in effect, from 8 until... Oh, they're doing a curfew Friday, Saturday. Oh, this is in D.C. They're doing teen takeover, so they're all over the country. We have to get out ahead of it because somebody's going to get killed. An innocent person is going to get killed. Somebody's child is going to get killed. Look, come on now. When we talk about leadership, and sometimes leadership looks ugly. Sometimes leadership is the discipline that has to be enacted by the system, by the government, by the state, because it is not being enacted individually. We have a lot of individual freedoms in this country, but sometimes if we are lax on the discipline, then our freedoms have to get curtailed by the system, because no innocent person should have to suffer or feel unsafe or feel threatened because they want to go to the mall, they want to go to the park. And we need to draw a line right there. We cannot make up these stupid and I hear it so often. I can't stand when black folks do this. It's why I sometimes want to separate from some of y'all. When they wanted to pass, this was many years ago, a littering ordinance where it was like a $500 to $1,500 fine if you were caught littering. I think they may have done something, may have updated the fines and the ordinances, but Boston had something similar, and Boston showed results. The people, once you get caught littering, you don't litter no more if your first fine is $500, and then for subsequent offenses, it goes up and up and up. And that was considered by whatever version of the Common Council we had, say, in 2017, 2018, right around that time. And the number of people, African-American folks, at a different radio station were like, that's not fair. That's too expensive. People can't pay a fine that high for littering. Simple fix. Don't litter, you will never get the fine. And they ended up killing the legislation because for some people, it is just impossible for them to find a garbage can for their trash. And they said, no, we're not going to do the ordinance because it would be unfair to people that are habitual litterers. But then people that want to live in clean conditions have to suffer. I told you what I picked up out of my yard when I did my little walk through. Because, in the springtime, I do my little walk through of the yard. You know what I mean? start picking up little garbage. I got this fence in my backyard. Sometimes the wind will blow trash up against my fence. I don't want nobody seeing garbage in front of my house. Let me tell you why, because I got this problem. I don't like it. It's a problem. I get stuff delivered to my house. A lot of delivery people listen to the radio. Oh, snap, Sherwin Hughes, hi. I have people leave messages on my Ring doorbell. I mean, it's nice, but it's, I lose a little bit of my privacy. And what I can have is someone who listens to my show. They're delivering my Amazon fresh groceries or my Amazon packages or the UPS packages or whatever, and they see garbage in front of my damn yard. It's embarrassing. So I picked my garbage up. I picked up a damn maxi pad yesterday. The amount of screaming and yelling and cussing I did, I'm surprised my neighbors ain't called the police on me. I'm just like, what human being? Why is it in my yard? Oh, I treated it like toxic waste. I need a hazmat suit is what I need. But it makes me so irate because it's just pure, it's disrespect. It's a lack of pride. And no, of course, it's not everybody. And the caller made sure when he phoned us a little while ago, he said, no, Sherwin, it's not all kids. We know it's not all kids. And I'm not over here saying that it is. It's the ones that go to the stuff that makes the news. No, it's not all kids. There's 200,000 children in the city of Milwaukee. No, it's not all of them. We know it's not. But all it takes is a couple of hundred. Not even, all it takes is one. And we've even suggested hold the parents responsible. How? What are you going to do? Give the parent a ticket? What do you think they're going to pay it? Or if they don't pay the ticket, Sherwin, they're going to have a warrant out for their arrest. They already do. Well, if we give them a ticket, then they won't be able to register their vehicle. It's not registered in the first place. Well, if they don't pay the ticket, Sherwin, we'll give the parents a ticket, then the parent won't be able to renew their driver's license. What driver's license? Well, if we give the parent a ticket and we hold the parents responsible, because, we got to hold the parents responsible, then the parents won't be able to apply for certain What? Jobs was the word. It makes us all look so bad. And no, it's not all of us. It's not all of us, but it's always us. Don texted in and said, freedom, not free. Don also says, I don't know if that last part was satire, but you spoke the truth right there. And he sent that at 10:57, so that must have been when I was talking about sacrifices need to be made. We think this. I don't know what people think anymore. That the sacrifices that we make for our country, for our system, for whatever semblance of democracy, I would argue we're not making enough sacrifices because democracy was stolen from us right underneath our feet because of apathy. But I think that when people go through their own personal struggles, they think that suffices. Like, oh, I struggle personally with this, or I don't have a job, or I had to struggle with that. That's because you made bad decisions. You are not struggling and sacrificing for the betterment of this democracy. And all we ask people to do is pay a little bit of attention and select a candidate that's not a fascist, which is clearly too tall of an order. It was just a little bit too difficult. And just like that, we can lose the democracy. Either today or tomorrow, the U.S. Supreme Court is going to hear arguments on birthright citizenship. You have no idea what this is going to mean. Up until this decision is rendered, let me give you some examples of how bad this is, because it's not just like, oh, we're going to hurt the illegals. Oh, no. Sometimes, they have these safe haven laws. They're all over the country, all over the place. If you have a baby, ladies, and men, because men, am I doing that right? Men you can identify as a man and be pregnant. We call them birthing people. Yeah, men can have, you can't mess it up because they get very angry. So if you have a baby and you don't want it, you can take it to like a fire station and just drop it off with no questions asked. Because it's a newborn, we will assume that that baby was born in America, right? Because of birthright citizenship, that child is considered a citizen. That child would be eligible for, because, you know, babies need health care. They need to get checked out and they got to get shots and immunizations and stuff. Because you drop the baby off, it is assumed that the child was born in America. It's not like somebody had a newborn and then quick rush to the United States to drop off their baby. That baby is automatically eligible for Medicaid because it's an American citizen, right? If they overturn birthright citizenship, if the mother goes into the hospital and has a baby, and the mother doesn't know who the father is or the father isn't there, that child is not considered an American citizen. So that child is not eligible for health care. If the mother of that child is not an American citizen and they have that baby in the United States, the mother's going to get deported and that baby is not an American citizen. If you cannot prove that you are an American citizen, so imagine California, where they have wildfires and people like lost everything. We have a lot of wildfires because of climate change and a whole bunch of other reasons. What if your documents were destroyed in a fire? If you can't prove that you are an American citizen, if the Supreme Court decides that birthright citizenship is a thing of the past, you have to leave the country because you have nothing to prove that you even belong here. It is going to impact everybody. But the prime examples are going to be if someone goes to a hospital and they have a baby, and if you don't know who the father is, the citizenship of your child is in question. In fact, they wouldn't be considered a citizen. Any child born in this country where you don't know the father, or if the mother is not a citizen, you're going to get deported. You're going to leave somewhere. That's how bad this is going to be. Children will not be eligible for Medicaid. A lot of people won't be eligible for Medicaid if you can't prove your citizenship. There are some people that have no documentation. It really is possible. Some people do not have a Social Security card. They do not know their Social Security number. They do not have a birth certificate. It will null and void the citizenship of all of those people. Elections have consequences, and it seems that in previous incarnations of democracy and different Democrats and Republicans that have been elected, there have been consequences with each presidential administration, but they're never enough. We need extreme stuff because we've gotten away with too much for too long. We've taken too much advantage of this system. We need what's going on right now. People need to lose and they need to suffer. And I know you may say, oh, Sherwin, that's so harsh. We got hard heads. There needs to be a kind of consequence that is felt long, deep, and hard by especially white folks, especially white women that voted for Trump, but their name, their married name is different than on their birth certificate. And guess what, ma'am? You can't vote either. You can't, wait a minute, we don't know who this person is. That's a different name on this birth certificate. What do you mean you got married and changed your name? That's not what your birth certificate says. It's not what your passport says. Sorry, registration denied. Maybe that would be a good thing because then maybe a Democrat has a shot at winning. We need to feel some consequences. And maybe we need to have, no, we do. I know that we do. We need more takeovers, more of them. We need them to get bigger. We need them to be worse. We need there to be real property damage. Do I want this to happen? No. But we are a reactionary society. Something dramatic has to happen before people wake up and pay attention. And maybe you're seeing some of that with the No Kings protest where 8 million people are walking in a circle because they're mad. But it's shocking people out of their coma. Many, many years ago, I had a caller that phoned in. This is probably my early days of doing radio in the city, and she said something. I've taken thousands of phone calls over the years, and I've heard it all. At least I thought I did. I've heard people singing and playing the saxophone. And remember the guy that called, was it last year, and we heard him get arrested, or we heard him get in the squad car with the police? I've heard some everything, but there's some calls that you remember forever. And I don't know what I was going on about, because my early days, I used to just, complain. I mean, I still do. But who knows what I was going on about. It was something that I wanted us here in Milwaukee to do. We were ignoring something or we weren't voting. Who knows what it was. And this lady called it. I never heard from her again. She said, Sherwin, trying to wake our people up is like putting an alarm clock in a cemetery. I was like, damn. No matter how long it goes off for, no matter how loud it is, they are not going to hear it. Like, that stuck with me. So we need something that will be louder than that alarm clock in that cemetery. We need to shock people out of their graves, because if you're walking around benign and blind and not paying attention to what's going on, we need you to feel something. Maybe it's going to be increased food prices. Maybe it's increased gas prices. Maybe it's tanks and military vehicles rolling down the streets of Wisconsin Avenue, and maybe Water Street, and maybe Brady Street, because the National Guard, if Tom Tiffany gets elected governor, is going to be sent to the city of Milwaukee to try and curtail what local officials simply can't. Maybe there needs to be more significant penalties. Maybe some of these judges that are serving on the circuit court, because most of the judges that serve on the circuit court, when they release people back into our community and they give them easy sentences or time served, they're not releasing people back into their community, because they live in Wauwatosa. They live in River Hills. They live in Bayside. They're not releasing those hardened criminals back into their suburban enclaves. They're releasing them back into the 53233 and the 53212 and the 53218 and the 53210. Enough is enough, and we're starting to see good people are cowering. And that shouldn't happen. Everybody should be able to go out and have a good time and go to Moody Park and do whatever. There used to be a pool at Moody Park. Did they take the pool away? Something needs to be done. Otherwise, we're just going to be sounding like a broken record. So maybe we need a new crime bill. And no. Don't you say it's racist. Don't do that. You guys see just like I do what's going on in some of these parks. Not that this matters, but because we like to think it's, a diversity of kids. It's not. It's not. It's not. I don't think it's any Latina kids out there. Maybe a couple. Maybe not many. Maybe. We want to think, it's the white kids. White kids tear stuff up too, but they do it differently. They don't. They're different in how they exercise their rebellion. These are African American children, and so if they ban takeovers, which, I got to check the YouTube poll. I ain't checked the poll all day. I think they should ban takeovers, because now if you see a flyer advertising a takeover, it is an unsanctioned event. There is no permit. And because there was shooting at the one yesterday, they all have to be looked at like there will be a shooting, because if we ban them, then we can have a little bit more enforcement. And you might be saving somebody's life, because we don't want anybody to get shot, because all I'm going to do is say, I told you so. I even said about the one that they had at Bayshore, all it takes is one person to bring a gun. I said that on Monday's show, and then there was a takeover yesterday, and somebody brought a gun. Now, nobody got shot, I don't think. But I predicted it, because it's easy to predict. And so if there is heavy enforcement on these takeovers, because they have proven to be unproductive, dangerous, and violent, and then a bunch of black kids get arrested, I think 13 or 14 kids got arrested at the one at Bayshore, and if all the children that get arrested are black, please don't call that racist. Don't do that. And the video that I saw, and I didn't see all of them, I saw about 4 different videos of fights that took place. Those cops were real accommodating. They were a lot nicer than I would have been. I would be an awful but effective police officer. I think I would be a great high school teacher if I could make it through like my first 2 weeks, because I feel like if a 16 or a 17-year-old challenged me, I'd punch him in his throat. Because if you're 16 or 17, you got to know that you're not an adult yet. And the throat is very sensitive. You know what I mean? You just give him a little chick, you give him a little chop, and then all of a sudden now they crying, they want their mamas. Oh no, a second ago, Mr. Man, you were Mr. Big Pants. Mr. Hughes chopped my throat. And now I'm getting hauled off in cuffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here trying to teach social studies and geography and history. And now I'm going to jail. That's not a... But my kids would do very well on their tests if they could avoid my throat chop. That's why I'm not a teacher. It's also why I'm safe in this cage. Like, I'm in a studio where there's nobody in here. I can throat chop. Well, I don't want to throat chop my guests. I think we got Eric Holder coming in on Thursday. Definitely don't want to throat chop him. And I think Francesca Hong is going to be here, but I'm not entirely sure. Joel Brennan reached out to me. He wants to come on the show. I guess I've broken my own promise. I guess I'm going to start talking to these candidates. But I need to hear something substantial from them. Not, oh, Sherwin, I agree with everything everybody says and does. Yes, I love it. Everything is, I agree. Tony Evers was such a nice...
I'll run a question list by you.
I'm sure you will. You just want to know how they feel about the war in Gaza and Israel.
Oh, no. I want to talk about how they're going to make themselves different from Tony Evers and what's their plan and, how they're going to, a lot of stuff.
Don't expect much. They're going to probably quote Tony Evers a lot, and they're not going to differentiate themselves from him. And politically, they shouldn't because he's popular.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, I just want to see. They had to have some kind of criticism of what he has done or hasn't done.
When Kamala was asked, this is what killed her campaign. I think this is it. I can remember a couple of moments where I was like, it's over. There were several of those moments. I'm going to say this, and I got to take a break. Somebody asked her, I think she was maybe on The View. I don't know where she was, somewhere. And they said, Kamala, what would you do different from Joe Biden? And she legit said nothing. Over. She could have said literally, I would have doubled down on tax cuts. I would have invested more in education.
That and the Gaza thing killed her.
I think the Gaza people... They helped throw the election, but I think they want to do that. And now we have Trump. And now I think people in Israel are more emboldened. We are more in bed with them now. We are giving them more money. And now we are involved in military campaign because we knew that the Gaza people, and they did a lot of, I shouldn't call them the Gaza people, the people that are protesting for a free Palestine, they were not going to vote for Trump. Obviously, and they were not going to vote for Kamala Harris, which in a state like Wisconsin strengthened the conservative vote because the people that were going to vote Republican and vote for Trump were not going to be swayed. So people that were protesting the war in Gaza, they would be natural Democrats. They would be allied with a Kamala Harris overall political agenda, but because I guarantee there was 30,000 of them that said, no, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris, and then you get Trump. And so I wonder... Are they better off? Do they feel better about Donald Trump getting? And we try to warn them, like, look, we're going to have a discussion after y'all vote for Kamala. We're not voting for her. Well, Trump is going to get elected. So, and now look, now they're about to get drafted. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's that time again for the Tory Lowe Community Cleanup. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as we come together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. Be part of making a difference in our community. The Tory Lowe Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th, 8 to noon. Sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, Waste Management, and presented by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, your clean water partner, serving greater Milwaukee for 100 years.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th at Franklin Field, featuring live performances by Shaggy, Rick Ross, Genuine, Soulja Boy, Frankie J, Mims, and more. There will be craft margaritas, Milwaukee's best taco vendors, authentic lucha libre wrestling, an exotic car showcase, a Chihuahua beauty pageant, art installations, and so much more. Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th. Get your tickets at tacoandtequilafestival.com.
As the White House threatens to take over state elections, restrict abortion nationwide, and take away our health care, the Wisconsin Supreme Court is the last line of defense for our rights. That's why the Supreme Court election on April 7th is so critical. The ACLU does not endorse or oppose candidates, but wants you to make an informed decision. When it comes to abortion rights, Maria Lazar supported overturning Roe v. Wade and is endorsed by groups that want to ban abortion. Chris Taylor voted against abortion bans and defended abortion rights while working with Planned Parenthood. And on the issue of voting rights in Wisconsin, Maria Lazar defended efforts to rig elections for one political party through extreme gerrymandering of congressional and legislative districts. Chris Taylor opposes rigging the system with extreme partisan gerrymandering. On April 7th, stand up for our rights. Paid for by American Civil Liberties Union, Incorporated.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The mayor addresses crime, housing, and the state of the city address. It was at Dr. Fuller's school on Vel Phillips and North Avenue. I thought about going, but then I said no. I'll just read about it. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson acknowledged illegal dumping, reckless driving, and other serious crimes in the city while announcing new programs to improve affordable housing for hundreds of Milwaukee residents in the future. Housing was a major focus for Mayor Johnson, who highlighted a faster process from permits to buildings. Quote, in a report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum earlier this month, the city of Milwaukee topped the other 5 regional communities examined with the speediest building permit approval, Johnson said. He noted that the process is now 33% faster. Not sure how you measure that in a percentage, but okay. His plan includes building 100 affordable single homes on Milwaukee's northwest side in the Amani neighborhood, with the anticipation that 200 families in Milwaukee will receive down payment assistance this year. That seems really low, though, doesn't it? Immigrants make Milwaukee stronger, Johnson said. He also criticized President Donald Trump's immigration policy, calling it, wait for it, particularly egregious. Addressing reckless driving and public safety efforts, Johnson acknowledged the work of the Department of Neighborhood Services. The DNS has deployed hidden cameras that's catching dumpers in the act in a number of city neighborhoods, Johnson said. He mentioned that while crime is down 17% from 2025, homicides are up and non-fatal shootings are down, urging legislators to make change. There are still too many guns in the hands of the people that should not have them, and there is still no meaningful legislative action in Madison or Washington to address gun violence, Johnson said. Lead efforts continue to be a point of concern. Johnson said Milwaukee has replaced, this is a good number, 13,000 pipelines this year and aims to accomplish 5,000 more. Come fix my pipeline, Mr. Mayor, man. That's why I'm nuts right now. I'm drinking leaded water. That's why I'm batty. Probably got so much lead in my blood, I probably glow in the dark. That's my problem. I'm probably drinking. This water tastes deliciously leady. Yummy. Lead efforts continue to be a point of concern. Johnson said Milwaukee has replaced over 13,000 pipes this year and aims to accomplish 5,000 more. He is partnering with Milwaukee Public Schools to expand a lead screening effort in schools as well. I bet you if you test some of these takeover kids, they're leaded too. They're like the gasoline in the 70s. They leaded. Leaded fuel only. X, you said that the Kamala Harris, Donald Trump was one of the closest elections in history.
Yes.
She got her ass kicked. Like, didn't she get mollywopped in a popular vote in the electoral? It wasn't close.
No.
This is something we can easily look up.
It's something you can easily look up. Hey,
that election, it was not closer than Bush versus Gore in 2000. That was the one they didn't even know.
Hey, look it up. I'm telling you.
Here, let's do it.
Because
I know that election wasn't close.
No, it was the closest election in 100 years.
No, it was not closer than Bush versus Gore in 2000. We didn't even know. There was no back and forth. There was no, oh, snap, Kamala is winning. Oh, snap, Trump is winning. Kamala was never up. In fact, I don't even think, because they released their internal polls and they mentioned that they were just hoping that things would turn around on election day. Kamala Harris was never even up in the polls.
No, she got thraxed in the Electoral College, but if we're going by popular votes and vote tallies, it was the closest election in one of the closest
Let's see.
in 100 years.
We're gonna figure this out, because I remember when I came to do the show the next day, I was like, well.
No, the Electoral College, she got thraxed, but popular vote, one of the closest elections.
Why can I not? There's so much information that comes up. All right.
How about I look it up for you?
No, this is one of my specialties.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Right here. Hold on now. Everybody relax. Everybody calm down. You ain't going nowhere. Donald Trump. Here we go. How many votes did he get? 3 billion. No. What is this here? There's no results. It doesn't say. Come on now.
I'm gonna look it up.
Why are we both not able to find this? Here. Kamala Harris versus Trump results. Come on, Google. Quit tripping. 2 million votes. 2 million popular. So 49. He at least won the popular vote. He got 77,303,568. She got 75 million. So that's the difference of 2 million. So Kennedy versus Nixon was 120,000. So that vote margin in 2024 was 10 times that of 1960. But then there was the Bush v. Gore, where it went to the Supreme Court because it was coming down to the election. So that was one where I think Al Gore won the popular and then Bush won the Electoral College because of Florida. So we've had a bunch of close elections. But this election was, Hillary's was closer, right? Because Hillary at least won the popular vote if we look at, but you can't look at the popular vote, and we can't decide. Let me just say this about the popular vote, and then I'm going to take a break. Because some people think, we should just decide on popular vote. No, running for president and getting elected president ain't the same as running for governor of a state. Governors of states, U.S. senators, aldermen, members of Congress, yes, that's winner take all. The more votes you get, then you get declared the winner. What would happen in America, because we all would agree how expensive presidential elections are, like they spend billions of dollars, right? And a lot of it is corrupt. So the more money you spend, the more likelihood there's going to be lies and manipulation, all this other stuff. So if we just went on a popular vote, here's what would happen. Candidates would only campaign in New York, California, Texas, Florida, and maybe Illinois. And so the most populated states, like the top 10 most populated states, would set the agenda for the entire country. Right, so Wisconsin, we are like probably maybe 1% of the popular vote when we have high voter turnout. But in the Electoral College, we're probably like 2%. So we double our electoral significance in Wisconsin by using the Electoral College versus the popular vote. Because if we just were a popular vote system, nobody would come to Wisconsin. Nobody would have their conventions here. No candidates would come here. Eric Holder wouldn't come here. Kamala Harris wouldn't come here. Nobody will come here because our population is too small. And in the grand scheme of things, when you think about it, who cares about Wisconsin? Nobody care. What do we even do here? What do we do? What do we make? And it ain't dairy, because that's California. California been a dairy state since the 90s. We need to stop telling that lie. We don't even really make beer anymore. You know who makes beer now in Wisconsin? It's not Miller. It's not Pabst. It's not Schlitz. It's white dudes with curly mustaches and beards that have microbreweries that all talk like this. Yeah, so we add the hops, you know, and then like we brew it. You know, we bottle it ourselves from recycled seashell plastic. Like, no, dude, it's so good. And they always wear Birkenstocks. You know, the kind of white guys that wear shorts in the wintertime. You know the kind. And they're always redheads. Like, yeah, you know, make my own microbrewery. All right, let's take a break. Am I accomplishing anything today?
Yeah, it's been a very insightful show today.
All right, well, takeovers need to be illegal. I was going to check the damn YouTube poll. I ain't even checked the poll. All right, let's see what we got here. 98 people voted. It's a good turnout. Should teen takeovers be illegal? Well. The democracy has spoken. 82% of you say yes. Teen takeovers should be illegal. Okay, here's what we're going to do. From this moment forward, if there is a posting on social media, some kind of artificially intelligent generated flyer, because that's how they're generating the flyers, if they announce a location, it immediately should be declared an unlawful assembly, and law enforcement, including the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department, local municipal cops, and even state troopers, if we need them, need to converge on that spot because they have demonstrated they are a threat to public safety. If you want to have a teen takeover, fine. Have it at a park where someone has a permit and they pay for the permit and someone signs the permit. So if some things happen that are below board, we have an individual that we can hold responsible. Is that too much to ask? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
The worst kind of whites, not that I'm picking on white folks, but you know how it goes, is the ones that think that they will lose something if this country becomes more fair and equal. I'm going to say that again. The worst kind of white people are the ones that think that if a black person gets a job and gets an opportunity and they ignore how hard the black person had to work and the racism, the bigotry, and the discrimination, and just how people turn their noses up at smart black people. They hate us. And the black person works really hard and overcomes maybe generational curses of poor health and poverty and all of those things. And we got to deal with the police and the criminal justice system that doesn't often have our backs. And then the black person gets a job, gets an opportunity, and a white person sees that and thinks that they lost. Those are the worst kind.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease, which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis, or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkbylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
A message from Tia Mowry, actress and Fair Celebrity Ambassador.
Game
day isn't staged, it's lived. It's the shopping, the cooking, the laughter. For families managing food allergy, that same spirit of preparation means everything. Because food allergy isn't a lifestyle. It's a serious, life-threatening disease that can change everything in a moment. But being ready changes the story. It's knowing the signs, having a plan, and carrying epinephrine everywhere life takes you. Epinephrine is the only treatment that can stop a severe food allergy reaction known as anaphylaxis. It works quickly to reverse the symptoms and can save lives. As families and friends gather for the big game, we see what community looks like. It's one built on awareness, care, and love in action. Because readiness doesn't take away the risk. It brings back the joy. When you're ready to act, you're ready to live.
Visit foodallergy.org/ready to act to learn more.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Oh, we're doing Gruber today. Do we do it now? Well, then no.
One call, that's all.
Hey, hi, everybody. Now is your chance to be our Gruber 5K giveaway entry for the day. That's right. You heard me correctly. You'll be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of the Gruber Law Offices. We'll take caller number 7. Caller number 7 will actually win something today. You'll win an opportunity to win money at another time. Like, you're not winning anything today. Not today, but we'll enter you to win $5,000 courtesy of 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Caller number 7. Again, caller number 7 at 833-212-1017. Remember, everyone, listen closely. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them online at gruber-law.com. And for official contest rules, go to our website. Go to our website anyway. It's 1017thetruth.com. You can listen live on 1017thetruth.com. You can watch the YouTube. There's a little YouTube button there. You can watch us on YouTube. So yeah, call number 7. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What you giving away today?
You don't even know what I'm giving away?
No, I don't.
Caller number 7 gets entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices, and you're caller number 1. So you have nothing. Nothing for you. I gotta go, though.
Well, now you're wasting my time.
Oh, you're wasting mine.
Goodbye.
I felt like I talked to her for way too long. I'll let you take it from here, X. I'll let you find your caller number 7. Let me read some of the commentary. Do we have any text messages that aren't profane that came in at 833-212-1017? Rob from Brown Deer says, Sherwin, with an exclamation point. All white people don't talk like we're California surfer dudes. Yes, you do. Todd wants to know, Sherwin, what is the percentage of children you're talking about? I'm sure you know it probably isn't much at all. I don't know what, you'll never know what percent. I don't know. Not a lot of percentage, but the percentage doesn't matter. So, okay, I'm going to humor you for a second. Who is this? Todd said this. What if it's only 1% of young people under the age of 18 that are going to these takeovers and they're causing destruction and they're breaking things and they're shooting on? Let's say it's only 1% of the youth. And let's say there are 200,000 kids in the city of Milwaukee. 1% is 2,000 young people. That's too many. The percentage doesn't matter. There are things that are happening that simply shouldn't happen. They are planning chaos. They are planning destruction. They're organizing it. Like they organized January 6th. They didn't even use like the 4chans and the Reddit. They planned it on the surface internet. It should have been stopped then. We are watching, I'm not going to compare these to January 6th, but I think if they continue, they will get worse. They will get bigger. They will get more dangerous. They will get more destructive, and people will die. There was a shooting yesterday. And it's still, here's what we got to keep in mind, y'all. It's only March. The summer hasn't started yet. So expect an uptick in violence across the board. Fatal shootings, non-fatal shootings, domestic violence, car theft, armed robbery, carjack. A Lyft driver just got carjacked. Poor lady on 25th and Hampton. Matthew is the one that does caller number 7. Congratulations, Matthew. Here, let's talk to this person and tell him some bad news. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Am I the caller?
No, Matthew is caller number 7. You're caller number 8. You didn't win anything.
Okay. It's nice to hear your voice. I am listening.
Oh, thank you. Have a nice day. Try it. Okay, then. One more, and then we got to take a break. Hello there. Hey, how are you? Hey.
Hello.
Hey. Hi.
Yes.
Yes. What's up?
Yes. Am I caller number 7?
You are not.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Last one. I promise. Last one. Oh my God. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going so good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm listening to the radio.
Oh, look at that. So am I, actually. We're both listening to the radio. That's cool.
Am I caller number 7?
No. You're not.
Oh, thank you anyway.
Okay, you're welcome.
Have a great day.
You too. A lot of women. A lot of ladies, huh?
Yeah, she sounded very nice.
She did, but don't let her fool you. I've been fooled before now.
Oh, I'm just talking about like a nice person.
See, sometimes the voice don't always. Maybe she's very. I don't know. She might be attractive, but.
Why you got to think when I say nice means attractive?
Because it does. When someone's attractive, I can't. I'm addicted to it now. Now I just can't stop. Hello. Oh, would you gonna call? You can't say nothing. I'm glad you wasn't calling number 7 because you wouldn't even say nothing. Hello.
Hey, Sherwin, what's up, man? It's Blake. How you been?
I've been good, Blake. Are you trying to be caller number 7? Because you're like caller number 30.
No, man. I heard it, so I was trying to get in, man. If I ain't win, dog.
Well, you didn't, but it's nice to hear your voice. But I got to take a break, Blake. If you got other stuff to say, I can keep you on hold through the break.
Yeah, because I just want to say I want to praise some women, man, and give a shout out to it's a month coming up special to me.
Oh, okay. Well, you hold on, and we'll come right back to you. We're gonna hear from Blake, who's not caller number 7. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
I won tickets last week on your show to see The Wiz. I just wanted to call and say thank you and say I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I appreciate the station. That was a core memory that was made last night. The Wiz was an amazing performance.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 101.7 The Truth.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you're so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
From office lunches to family celebrations, Cousin Subs has the crowd-pleasing catering you need. Choose from customizable party boxes, individual box lunches, fresh-baked cookies, and our classic party chips. Everything you need to satisfy any size group, big or small. Ordering is easy online or on the Cousins app, so you can focus on the fun, not the food. Cousins Subs, we believe in better.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Bust it open, get your stuff. Bust it open, get your stuff. Bust it open, bust it open. Bust it out, get your stuff. Bust it open, bust it open. Bust it open. Get.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. This is the city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals and the plates are piled high with flavor. Here in Milwaukee, every street... Bring it back. I got to have a beat to talk over. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring. It's a place that welcomes you with open arms, where joy is shared through bites of food and music and our sports teams. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11, exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. On The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I forgot about that remix. Hey, Blake, what's on your mind?
Oh, man. What's up, man? You tickle me, dog. You funny. I appreciate you. No, just in April, man, my daughter will be 22. I got to see her Saturday at my auntie's homegoing, and I got to see 4 generations of my family. And I just want to say thank you to you and the team for the support that I got from y'all when I would call in when nobody would talk to me, and I was damn near going crazy when my daughter got hurt about 6 years ago, personally. Don't want to bring that back up. But she's doing well.
Good.
My kids are doing well.
Wonderful.
And, it's been like 12 years since my mother passed, but I laid my auntie to rest Saturday, Patricia Parental. She was a teacher at Highland, and I just want to give her flowers. And every woman out there, they push life out here, man. I was calling just whatever we want, because I got a pack of 18 Summerfest tickets last year, so I was just calling to see whatever he was doing, whatever he was on. But I got in. But I got in for a reason. It was to give praise to the ladies in my life, and I appreciate you, sir.
That's wonderful. And I'm sorry about the passing of your aunt.
Yeah, man, life is good, you know, when you live here and God takes you when you're supposed to go, but when someone's taken from you, it's a different situation. I've been through all kinds of sorts. So to watch my family, as hurt as they were, you know, I made a painting for my mother and the ones that have passed on, and I spoke on behalf of my auntie on what she's done for me. And I just wanted to let everybody know that I was different 12 years ago, and you got to give yourself a chance to change, but you have to know, like the stuff I'm watching out here in my community, we never did stuff like this. Never. We didn't want to be seen. We was going to be out. We weren't supposed to. You know, we just trying to get out, have fun, and go home. But I've been growing a long time with permission. Because ain't nobody been able to tell me nothing. So you do things by choice. But y'all keep doing good with the truth. I'll just call in because everybody was calling and I being number 7. Didn't even know what it was for, man. I love y'all, man. Appreciate you, Sherwin.
All right, Blake. Thank you very much. Okay.
You're a nut.
Oh, all right. I'm a nut, and I also tickle him. So when we announce, so Gruber as an example, because we do it every day on each show, we give you all an opportunity to be entered to win the $5,000. Blake was like the second person that said, "Oh, I don't even know what I'm calling for." Did I not make it clear? Because we played the little sound. Play the sound again, Xavier. Let me just listen to it again to make sure it's clear. Let me hear it.
One call, that's all.
Okay, so when you guys hear that, and then there's a script that I read, it's been the same script for 5 years. Okay? But then you guys call and go, I don't know, what am I doing? Caller number 7. Maybe I need to stop saying that caller number 7 wins nothing. Because then people, but then here's the other thing. Just think about this. Oh, here comes somebody right now. If I logically say, hey, everybody, caller number 7 wins nothing, then why are you calling? You're not getting anything. I mean, who is this now? Look at this. Why are people calling? Oh, because they heard the sound. Oh, no. Tell Sherry, because, hold on, I'll get it. Hello.
Am I caller 7?
This has to be a
joke. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, this is my fault, Sherry. I just played the sound effect just so I could hear it. But no,
okay.
Okay then.
Oh, darn. Okay, I'll try again. Thank you.
Oh, no, don't try again. I need to be more clear, I think. Okay.
Well, you were talking about how, like, reading comprehension's down amongst the nation. Maybe
no, not my listeners are so smart. They're so intelligent. They're some of the most smartest. Big brain. They got big brains.
Yeah, the Bob calls are really good, and the Allen calls are really good. And I really miss the Israel calls. I don't miss those. Those are really smart.
No. Israel is a threat.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I'm telling you, he's not. He almost called Zach up one day.
Oh, really? How so?
Zach saw him, or he saw Zach somewhere, and Israel was like, "Are you Zach?" Zach was like, "Nope."
It's awesome that no one knows what I look like.
So we used to have a couple of our shows where the producers acted as co-hosts. There's a camera in there. You know how to turn on. Show the people.
Oh no, I'd like to be incognito. I'm the guy behind the camera.
No, hold on, man. You also like to chat a little bit. That's fine, as long as you don't distract me too much. But no, you don't want to show the people what you look like.
No, I like to.
You don't look how you sound. If I ask people to describe how they think you look, none of it would match you.
What do you think they would think I look like?
Different.
Yeah, probably.
You sound like you should have facial hair.
Oh yeah, I mean I got a little bit growing.
I think today was the first time I've ever seen you standing up. You're walking down the hallway. I was like, you are tall, because I only see you at my level. Most of the time when I see you, you're sitting down.
Oh yeah, I'm a pretty big guy.
Yeah, you're tall.
Yeah.
All right now. Should teen takeovers be illegal? The percentages are holding steady. 82% of you say that they should be, with over 100 votes. Maybe we have a new policy. And the reason why I say this, and I know some are like, no, Sherwin, the kids need something to do. Not if they don't know how to act. Because guess what? If adults, let me give you this example, and then we're going to shut the show down with this. If there's a bar, a lounge, or a nightclub, and adults don't know how to act, they act a fool, they fight, and they shoot, and they shoot, and they fight, and they break stuff, it's going to get closed down. Now, you can't close down a park. But if they are going to advertise and promote and encourage people to go to these takeovers, then we have to make sure that those takeovers are sanctioned events where someone actually gets the permit to have the event. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. I'll see you next time. Call number 7 gets nothing.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker.